with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Morning Huddle. You're looking live, folks.
I wish you were looking live.
Well, yeah, you're not looking live yet. I know. The old StreamYard is.
I think there's something.
We're struggling today out here.
Well, it's not the internet. Hey, everybody, we are live from the tennis court, suffering from our normal early morning issues on a cool Tuesday morning. Oh, you're in.
Right. I think I might be in, friend.
Right.
I've got to make sure I'm centered.
Oh, you better be centered in a lot of ways. After last night, you need to be centered.
Well, I got the business yesterday for not being centered on the camera. I was sitting too far to the left, I believe. And now, for the sake of video, I appear to be centered. I'm in the show, it says. So now,
I'm still not even on the site.
Rob, he who says, "Oh,
not connected to the internet.
I brought the wrong laptop," he says to me, and then his laptop won't connect him. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm AJ Hoffman. He's Rob Thompson. Actually, you can introduce yourself.
Oh,
sorry.
No, I'm perfectly capable of listening to you. I'm Rob Thompson. You couldn't tell by the screen, but I am, in fact, here.
And we are live at Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. And you know what? It's quite lovely here today. It's, I think, less cold than yesterday.
Well, we managed to close our tent.
That is a help.
That it has cooled the breeze. Dude, it's cold out there. This morning, there was so much condensation on my window, I legit thought it had rained last night.
And, well, maybe you left the window open.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just so early morning humid, that marine dew that hits, and it goes right to the bone.
The dew. That's how those strawberries grow, Bubba. That's what they pay the big bucks for around here, is that dew. Yeah, Oxnard is lovely. We had a boys' night out last night. A boys' night out where we had some good pizza. No one vomited.
No, we made it.
There was discussion of the last time that we were at that. I say we. This radio station was at that said pizza place, and someone vomited violently. I won't name names.
We could say we've talked about it. Tim Spence,
who was the former boss man around here. He puked his guts out at that place last year.
Surprised we were let back in.
And we made it through yesterday with 0 vomiting incidents.
Well, so far.
It's early yet, friends. It's early yet. And then we went to a brewery. And Rob and I went to a brewery yesterday, just the two of us, when we were waiting on the afternoon boys to finish up their program. And we had a couple beers, and we said, you know what? I think the other guys might like this.
So we went back.
And the other guys didn't like it.
Well, it's high-end beer. They're not used to nice things.
Look at you. There you go. There's Rob. There's old Rob. Yeah, they were like, this is not for me. Even though I felt like we picked a place that had the kind of beer that everyone could agree on.
You did. They just were whatever. We actually hit 2 bars twice yesterday, early and late.
That's true.
Hit the same bars early and then late. We made a loop.
And because after we went to the brewery, we went to a place called the Rudder Bar, or is it the Rudder Room?
The Rudder Room. You were introduced
and
to the worst bar on the West Coast. It's not a bad bar.
It's not the worst.
No, actually, we had a good time last night. But there's not too many bars in the state of California where you can find $5 bottled beer and 50-cent pool.
Yeah.
It is literally the last bar. When you walk out of this bar, you walk into the Pacific Ocean. You've reached the end of the line.
And you may be attacked by a seal.
It's possible. They were close.
And we partook in both the $5 beer and the 50-cent pool.
Yes, we did.
I am perhaps the worst billiards player in the history of time.
It wasn't for lack of effort.
Although I think I did win one game. But the sun shines on a dog's ass is what they say.
You did win one, didn't you?
Yeah. Because then I had to play a stranger next.
who threatened to go get his good pool cue.
Yeah, and I didn't want that.
No one wants
that. Would have been uncomfortable.
Anybody to
if
go out
you're
to
the
the
kind of
car.
person who's got a pool cue in your car and you're saying, hey,
Yeah, let me go get the good one.
don't make me go out there and get it. Listen, you've already beat me. I'm defeated.
I'm going to go get my stick. We're going to take it down.
I'm defeated.
Yesterday was weird because we got here on an off day. And, it was just didn't feel right. Today's going to feel a lot more normal, AJ. I'm ready for some activity around here.
Well, we made some activity yesterday of our own.
Well, yeah, we did, but I'm ready to see the dudes running around. I'm ready to hear some pads pop. I mean, I'm here for some football. We're going to get some football.
That is what we're getting today, friends. And yesterday, we had the luxury of speaking to Will McClay, who is the director of player personnel for the Dallas Cowboys. Got to talk to him about actually a few things. And one of the things that's interesting about talking to a guy like him is talking about his draft picks, because this is the dude who's in charge of the draft for the Dallas Cowboys. I love the idea of asking him, like, hey, how closely are you watching the year one guys? How closely do you, like, once you draft a guy, how often before you feel like you're responsible for him?
Mm-hmm.
Those things are kind of interesting to me because he's been around for a while, so he's had his hands on, I would guess, probably everybody who's playing for the Cowboys was at least at some point.
Well,
everyone who was drafted by the Cowboys anyway.
Yeah, since 2014, director of the draft, been around the team for 24 years, 25 years. Good conversation, but with a guy that, when you think of the Cowboys' fortunes, and everybody just assumes that Jerry's always been this wheeler dealer, this guy that goes and gets the players that the fans deserve and want. No, this is a team built through the draft, and it has been either you can blame him or congratulate him. It's a very talented team that McClay has put together under a series of coaches. I mean, he keeps drafting and the coaches keep changing, but the talent has been pretty consistently above the norm in the NFL.
So we will we'll talk to him and we'll play that interview at we'll play it around 7:15ish or so, and then we'll play it again at 9:15. We're going to play that interview 2 times today, mostly because we're lazy. That's not true, but mostly because we want everybody to have a chance to hear it, and everyone listens to the entire show. The Blitz, the afternoon folks yesterday, got to talk to old Stephen Jones, and we've got that audio cut up, and we'll hear some clips of that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour as well. So we've got a full show today, friends, and we're recovering. At least I am. I may have had 1.5 too many beers.
I don't feel that bad today. I think I might have been that 1.5 that I didn't have. I think you did have.
I think that might have been it.
The strangest thing, we work on this weird calendar. We were talking to the guys from Dallas just a second ago, and one of the morning dudes was like, "Man, I'm happy. I got 5 hours of sleep last night."
Oh, please,
AJ looked at him like combined, we didn't get 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I got a good 5 hours. Well, on the weekends I always get 5 hours, but during the week, no way. I got to rely on that nap, baby.
And we came to a conclusion. We have made the decision as to what we are going to do tomorrow night in lieu of Nobu. We have purchased the tickets. Yesterday was difficult. Thursday morning should be a bumpy ride. You're not going to miss Thursday.
Yeah.
Stories.
It should be a good time on Wednesday night, as we are going to go see. We're going to the Hollywood Bowl.
Never been there.
We're going to see. We're going to go see John, formerly Cougar Mellencamp.
Is he the headliner in your mind?
No.
Are we there to see the Cougar?
No.
Little pig houses? No.
Here's a little ditty about Jack and Diane. No, he will be there. And then we're going to see William Nelson.
Mr.
And then Robert Dillon will be the headliner of this event. And it should be a good time.
Yeah, I think it set the record for the oldest combined age.
I think you're probably right. No, the Rolling Stones play every once in a while.
And they're all 4 together. I mean, we only had 3 here.
Yeah.
I guess that's right.
But yeah, we're going to go to an old people show, and I am on the record as saying I prefer old people concerts because generally people sit down in their seat and they don't jump up and scream the whole time, and they just watch the show, and I'm for that.
I assume it's a sit-down show. Maybe Dill's going to rock the place, man.
He
Dylan might go non-acoustic, plug in We might hear a rock show.
Well, and Minix says,
old Bob.
Minix says, oh, you're like, you never sit down at a rock show. And I said, well, I do. And when you stand up, I'm still taller than you.
Have you ever been to a show where you wanted to stand and everybody was sitting? Like, why is everybody
I wish everyone.
chill?
I wish everyone would sit at every show ever.
I went to, it was the filming of an Austin City Limits back in the day. You know, the one that used to become on public
ACL
TV.
Live.
Yeah, ACL Live back in the day. And it was Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm talking about 30 years ago. And go see the screening. We all sit down and he just starts to wail and we have to just sit there. It was a very strange
That is
experience
odd.
to see this dude, the band just rip it up in front of us. And we just had to sit there like, woo, wonderful performance, Mr. Stephen Ray.
Yeah, that is odd, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it one bit.
I'm down, but I've never been in a situation where I was like, man, I really feel like I need to get up and move. Like, this guy deserves more than what I'm giving him. You know?
I think they get it when you're in a situation like that. I think they kind of understand the setup.
Well,
but
what happened to him?
Yeah, he died.
That was unfortunate.
He may have died because you didn't clap.
Well, I don't want to really blame myself, but it is entirely possible.
It's quite possible. As we continue to struggle with some StreamYard issues out here.
I think our Wi-Fi is out. So I'm adjusting things on the fly. It's about adapting and overcoming. It's about seeing the problem, figuring the problem out, fixing the problem,
and we'll do that.
Going back to sleep.
We'll do that. Yeah, we've also got to discuss today Dakota Prescott. What's left to do with Dak is kind of the question that's left out there. We'll talk about that. Aaron Rodgers is already getting fired up at training camp, and not in a good way. He's angry all of a sudden that his teammates aren't giving enough. They're not giving their 100% as he prepares for probably another vacation to go do illicit drugs. Today is the MLB trade deadline, and both the Astros and the Rangers were making moves.
The Astros gave us a gift that will keep on giving for the rest of the season. Is
his name Yusei Kikuchi?
You say it, I say, but we get to say Kikuchi.
Kikuchi. So we'll talk about that. There's a lot going on. The Texans have a player who's a big fat cheater. Been suspended.
PEDs.
That's called cheating,
is that
Rob.
Really illegal anymore?
Yes. What do you think this is? Baseball?
Or what are we doing? Cycling now?
This is a major violation. Major violation. And friends, we'll talk some Olympics. I watched a little bit of ladies basketball yesterday. Our ladies, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good. Although, let's hand it to the Japanese.
Pretty good.
The Japanese ladies were bombing away. You got to give them some credit.
But I still think they lost by 100.
Oh, yeah, it was a beatdown. But you got to give them some credit.
And Rob, is it too soon to say bombs away with the Japanese?
I think after 50 years.
We did defeat them in one of the two biggest world wars.
So I was told comedy is tragedy plus time.
Okay.
So
then, yeah, bombs away, USA and Japan.
Dropped the big one on them yesterday.
We did.
2 of them.
And, yes. And it was an ass whooping. So good job by our ladies. Although, listen, I can't complain. The men did their job the other day. So normally I would say the ladies picked us up, but the men also played well. So, and we saw some other Olympic sports. You know, here's what we'll do on the other side. There's a sport that America should be really good at that apparently we're not, and I'm very disturbed by this. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle, live from Oxnard, California, on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
94.1.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
They say to make yourself indispensable at work. So I developed a digital catering solution that only I can operate. Okay, it's actually easycater.com.
David!
They love me because I, the director of catering logistics, not a real job, use EasyCater to get catering from all our favorite restaurants. Tight budget? No problem. Need vegetarian options? Gluten-free? Check and check.
D-Man, you crushed lunch today.
It was easy. EasyCater.
EasyCater is your all-in-one tech platform for ordering food for work. Start your order at easycater.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough? Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increase libido, increase metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, AJ and Rob live from Oxnard, California. Cowboys Training Camp, boys and girls. We are out here. Rob is here, despite his face not being on the YouTubes. But that's all right. He'll be there at some point, we hope. The interwebs are a cruel bitch at times. And today's one of those days where the internet is a cruel, cruel bitch. But we'll get it figured out because that's what we do. We soldier on. The Olympics are a time, Rob, where our best and brightest show up and they say, you know what, this is why America kicks your ass. That's right. Team USA. More often than not, we show up and show out. And we've done it with our basketball. I haven't watched any ladies gymnastics, but I assume we're doing it in that because Simone Biles is a very good sports player. But there's one sport where I would assume America would have a lot of success, and apparently we just don't. And this is disappointing to me. Every time there's some sort of shooting tragedy, a school shooting or a mass shooting or whatever kind of shooting, people from other countries say, no one else here even owns guns. And we say, yeah, well, we do, friends. We've got all the guns we need here in the U.S. Yet Team USA is not winning in the shooting contests for whatever reason. This feels like it should be a lock. We should be raising the best and brightest shooters. Guns are a big deal to our history, to our country. And we're getting beat by Kyrgyzstanis. And very disappointing. There are a couple pairs in the 10-meter air rifle mixed competition. Mary Tucker and Rylan Kissel finished 13th in the qualifying round. Sajin Madalena and Ivan Rowe were 18th. What?
Well, are they really shooting guns?
These are air rifles.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. So we're not number one or in the top 10 in BB guns.
It'll put your eye out, Rob.
So we didn't place in the top 20 in BB gun shooting.
Yes,
the Red Ryder double-aught whatever from. Okay, I don't. Maybe
You're okay
guys
with this?
Are using the real guns, and we got the 10th place in the toy division.
Well, here's the worries. China is facing South Korea for the gold medal. The last thing we want, Rob, is the Chinese to get really good at gun shooting.
They're going to start killing all the crows. They're going to be shooting pigeons.
That could be the case. Kazakhstan and Germany will face off for the bronze medal.
So does all the shooting sports only use pellet guns? Like
I think so.
I think those pentathlons guys, don't they shoot like a 22?
I don't know.
Like what about the ski and shoot dudes? What do they shoot?
Like in the winter games?
Yeah, the ski and shoot dudes.
I think they use real guns.
So why is there not real guns in this?
I don't think you're allowed to have real guns in France.
You know, it's probably for the better. We don't want a bunch of heavily armed and very accurate. Where are these Azerbaijanis running around?
Yeah. Well,
Kazakhstani. Oh, you know those two.
The Kazakhs.
Somebody would have gotten mad if I'd.
That's right. Borat
would not have appreciated it.
Borat is in fact on the mixed shooting team. With the guys from Uzbekistan who he doesn't like that much.
They focus on an entirely different kind of thing.
Yeah.
Over there.
But they're better than us at shooting now. That's what we know. That's what we know. China won the gold medal in Tokyo in 2020 already. So also at the Olympics, I did watch some of this yesterday. Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal played in the first round of the Olympics yesterday. And what I noticed is Rafa Nadal and I are about to have the same haircut. He is holding on desperately to his hair, and he just got to sometimes let things go. And if I were Rafa Nadal, I would let that hair go. You've had a good run. You played your whole career having long hair. Now's the time to put on a cap or just get rid of it. And I'm not one to tell people what to do with their looks.
Are we worried about sunburn at the end of the day? Are we really more concerned about
you should be
a burned head?
You should be. It's Novak's not going to burn his head. He either wears a cap or he has a full head of hair. Nadal doesn't have a full head of hair option. But I guess he's done now. He lost yesterday. For those who don't know, he's out, and he won't have to play again. So, I guess he does have doubles, so he may get sunburn and potentially melanoma from that sun, which would be disastrous.
Like bronze and some sort of carcinoma.
And then what would it be? It'd be a big "I told you so" from the Morning Huddle boys. All right. We'll discuss more Olympics. We're going to talk a lot of Cowboys today as well. It's a busy show out here today from Oxnard, California, Dallas Cowboys Training Camp, where they're going to be smacking pads around today.
Finally.
They had a day off yesterday. We saw a couple guys picking up and putting down heavy things in the tent next to us. We're right next door to the weight room tent. I assume we'll see more guys picking up heavy stuff and putting down heavy stuff today, but we'll also see them wearing football helmets and running into each other at violent speeds today, or maybe half violent speeds.
Over the many years we've been coming out here, the first guy always in the locker room was Tyron Smith. It's going to be interesting to see who the first dude in the locker room is now, because it was always Tyron, and he always picked the music.
That's at our house. Our beach house, Rob is he robs the Tyron Smith of the beach house. He's the first one up.
I am.
He pushes everybody around. Hey, wake up, bitch. That's what he said to me this morning. Hey, gave me a good shake.
I didn't think I needed. You didn't need it. You were up too. And you were light-footed too. I didn't hear you at all. I was concerned that you weren't up, and I looked up and the lights were on, and you were just.
Well, yeah, I wasn't
footing around.
I wasn't upstairs. I was actually sleeping on the floor in the washer dryer room, as your son calls it. So I didn't even make it upstairs last night. Slept on the floor.
Dryer.
Yep, slept on the washer dryer room floor. Rob's son doesn't know that a washer dryer room is called the laundry room.
We describe everything's as exactly as it's used.
Yeah, we
the cooking room.
We eat our meals in the cooking room, and then
there's the sleeping room.
We go to the sleeping room, and then there's the poop and pee room.
The poop and pee room.
Yeah,
which we use around our house. We raised our kids oddly.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll be back. Continue the show here live from Oxnard as the biggest training camp battle is Rob versus the internet. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is day 2 for us here at Cowboys Camp in Oxnard, California. We get the #1 draft pick.
Yeah, all 6'7" Tyler Guyton is going to join us live here on the Blitz. Plus, our first look at the Cowboys in pads as our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp coverage continues starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
GiveMeTheVin.com salutes a guitar-playing son of a gun, American blues musician Buddy Guy, who was noted for his slashing electric guitar riffs and passionate vocals, was born in Lettsworth, Louisiana on this day in 1936. You'll never get the blues from GiveMeTheVin.com. In fact, we'll show you the green when you sell your car to Gimme the Vin, where we'll beat any CarMax offer or pay you $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hi, I'm
Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Krispies. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
No.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. O'Reilly Auto Parts has batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Selling your home is full of catch-22s. Do you pay for upgrades like new flooring and fresh paint to sell for more, or put that money toward your dream home? Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. I want to tell you about Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, where you can do both. Get more money for your current home and put more money down on your new one. Here's how it works. Orchard makes you an impressive backup cash offer for your old home. That unlocks cash for you to buy and move into your new home. Next, your Orchard team handles the repairs and upgrades on your old home at no upfront cost. Then your local Orchard agent lists, shows, and sells your home on the market. One customer said, quote, "Orchard sold my home for more than I expected, and I got a golf cart." Home selling doesn't have to be a catch-22. With Orchard, get expert guidance and top dollar for your home. Visit Orchard.com and start with your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
So I tried that whole secret menu thing. Went up to Taco Bell. Said, "Hey, I want an enchilada. It's on your secret menu." The guy looked at me like I had 5 heads. He goes, "We don't have a secret menu, sir."
Well, he doesn't know.
Well, apparently not.
I know, because it's a secret.
Well, I mean, you think when they train them there,
It's
they
called
should
a secret.
Well, the employee ought to know the secret.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Building.
Whoop. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I got to tell you guys, Rob's angry. Rob is usually about the friendliest, happy-go-lucky guy out there. They done pissed him off. Rob has said cuss words, none on the radio, thankfully, but he's said them, and he's fed up. I don't know if he's mad at the Cowboys.
I'm mad at everything.
Or he's mad at Greg Shelton, which that's a risky move, being mad at Greg Shelton, because he doesn't care if you're mad at him.
I'm not mad at Greg Shelton. I'm mad at technology in general.
That's an old people thing to say, Rob.
It very is. I'm a Luddite.
I don't know what that word means.
I hate technology.
Oh, well, yeah. I think the mistake you made also is today you sent our driver home.
I did, in fact, send our driver home to take a little nap.
Who do we have as our driver? As the youngest guy here. He could probably have helped you with technology.
I think this is a laptop.
This is a hardware issue.
I think we're at a hardware issue far beyond.
Because I tried to set up my iPad
skills
to use as a hotspot, and you can't even find that on your computer. So,
but we have another answer.
Well, I think you'll get it all figured out by the time we get this done. But I'm sorry, we are live at Cowboys Training Camp. This is the day that I think, well, for us anyway, that training camp really starts. It was an odd day yesterday. There were no people here, and apparently today is going to be a totally different scene.
Yeah, it's going to be.
They have such a setup at, like, they've got first aid stations, baby change, and all of these are different tents. Baby changing station tents. They've got a pro shop where you can get a custom jersey made, all these different things. And you just show up and you spend all your time with the Cowboys. And they've got everything says credit only.
Yeah, there is that.
And then right next to the credit only signs, there's an ATM. So you can't, everything is credit only, but they do have an ATM, and they'll charge you fees for that too.
Yes.
And you'll pay a $4.50 fee, but you won't be able to use the cash.
What I love about this place is the beer. Only place that sells beer is the Cops. The beer sells.
That is odd.
From the Oxnard Cops.
That is odd. Yeah, the Oxnard Gestapo runs the beer tent, and they're getting their dough one way or the other.
We hope.
And they, like, I don't know if they're I'm not saying they're pulling people over after. I'm not saying they're selling you beer and then waiting out in the parking lot to fucking oops.
They wouldn't do
bleep
that.
me out here. Give me a
We're good.
okay. My goodness. But yeah, they are. This is a well-run business out here, Rob.
Of course, this is how they do it. Yesterday was odd. I cannot wait to see everybody going. We didn't get to see Jerry walking around yesterday. We'll see all the guys because the heat's on now. Today, the heat will be on.
It was interesting that guys like Stephen Jones and Will McClay were walking around yesterday without the players here.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's a different approach from those, because we talked about Will, how he's dealing with interacting with the players and things like that right now. And obviously not everyone's here, but it's different to be the guy who's talking about these contracts and stuff when no one else is around versus when the players are standing around. And we talked to Will about that, about the Hard Knocks show that Rob and I both enjoy, the off-season Hard Knocks thing. And we asked if he liked it, and he was like, no. I want all this stuff I'm saying to be off the record. Like, there's some conversations you want to have that no one else hears.
And I also want it to feel a little bit more professional than me playing fantasy football.
Yes.
Like, hey, dude, if I buy you a beer and offer you 2 second-rounders, will you give me so-and-so? I want it like in paper.
If
like
I buy
formal.
you a beer from the Cop tent.
Yeah. I want it more formal than a couple of bros over a beer discussing a trade.
Well, that's what it seems to be, though. And he said, yeah, quite often that's exactly what it is. Which is, it's hilarious, but that's the reality of this business, I guess. Again, we'll have Will McClay we'll play that interview at 7:15, and you'll get the entire rundown. We got to talk to him for about 10-12 minutes yesterday, which was a cool deal for us. And we'll have more interviews as the week goes on, obviously, with players and personnel. As we go through this Oxnard, California drama show out here where everybody's trying to get their money, everybody's trying to stay happy and be a big, happy family, and also not spend any money at the top of the food chain. The Dak thing is also very fascinating to me, as now we talked about last week, Rob, the idea that they were waiting for Jordan Love. They were waiting for Tua. And now that's all done. There's no one else to wait for. We've reached the end of the rainbow when it comes to these contracts.
It doesn't matter. Jordan Love could have signed for $10 million less.
That doesn't associate to his contract.
This is Dak finding that next tax bracket in 2025. I mean, this has nothing to do with Tua. Had nothing to do with Jordan Love back in May. Still has nothing to do with them. He knows that with every tick of the clock, he makes another $100. Basically, that's how it works. And he can keep letting that clock tick for the next 6 months. And every time 1 second goes by, he makes $100 not $100, $10,000. We're talking about in the hundreds of millions of dollars, no matter what he does. He could blow a knee, Kirk Cousins, it does not matter. If he will wait till he's a free agent, he will sign a contract for roughly $35 to $40 million a year. He will have $225 to $230 guaranteed dollars coming his way, and he doesn't have to do anything.
Well, Steven was on the ticket yesterday out of Dallas. These are our neighbors, our tent neighbors here. Are the ticket out of Dallas, Texas. And yesterday he did he did two things that I think are mistakes when it comes to negotiating. The first one is use the exception to the rule. When you say, Patrick Mahomes took a pretty team-friendly deal. If he wanted more money, he could get more money, and he doesn't take it. Unless you're the guy who is Patrick Mahomes and rule, no one else wants to hear about the exception to the rule. Dak doesn't want to hear about, let's take a team-friendly deal.
Would you take a team-friendly deal from Jerry,
No.
who at every turn held you out, waited till the last minute at every turn,
No.
did not meet you halfway?
No.
I wouldn't either, man. You're paying me or I'm out.
And especially knowing that if there are a lot less stressful jobs than being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
True.
And you can have a job that's less stressful and pays you more, but most guys are going to look at that as a positive thing. So if you can get away from that circus and make more money, you do it. And that's what I think. That's what I think Dak is looking for.
It's funny you bring that up when you hear from former Dallas Cowboys and they go someplace else, especially those Cowboys that were drafted here, landed here first, and then on their second contract or wherever went to another team. And you ask them, well, what's it like for you're playing for? You just name your random other team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're like, I had no idea that I was in such a dysfunctional place with the Cowboys. I mean, I had no idea that the rest of the league is not like this. It's not. We don't have tours while we're lifting weights.
Yeah,
we don't. I thought that was with every team. So. The circus almost becomes numbing. You don't realize you're in the middle of this.
Well, one more thing got said yesterday by Stephen Jones that has me greatly concerned because it's the kind of thing you only say when you're losing a negotiation. We'll talk about that next. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
How about them Cowboys?
What will the Cowboys defense look like under new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer? San Antonio sports star relocates to California's Golden Coast to find out.
You asked for it, you got it.
Coverage of the Cowboys' week-long training camp in Oxnard is brought to you by AA Best Bell Buns and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Continues all this week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio sports star.
Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Come to the mega sale at Baseball Express. Everything baseball and softball, bats and gloves, steel and molded cleats, performance gear, and all other equipment must go. 75% off all apparel and footwear, and up to 60% off everything else. Baseball Express on East Nakoma.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Gather around. It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. AJ Hoffman, I'm Rob Thompson. For those of you new to our training camp coverage, the bathrooms here are about, I'd say, 100 yards away into the darkness. And as we went to break and dealt with our online issues, we had an offline issue. So AJ is gone. I am not on camera, but this is San Antonio Sports Star, and we are the Morning Huddle. I want to thank Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and AA Best Bail Bonds for helping us come out here as they always do. The real training camp coverage begins today. We got practice coming out today, and of course the news continues. Tough news with the Sam Williams exit from training camp on Sunday, and we'll see the beginnings of the next as we come around. We had a chance to talk with Will McClay yesterday, and he talked about drafting appropriately in years prior. You always want to make sure you have exactly what you need in stock up to the year before you need it. And as Sam Williams goes down, and he talked about how he had been drafted, and the guy was capable of playing some other positions, and there's some other dudes around that are doing the same thing. Feel better?
Feel better.
Good. I was telling everybody it's a hike. It's a run.
It is a bit of a run. And usually in the 6 o'clock hour we have these long segments, or a long break. So I thought I had time to go pee, but
you did.
It's a hike. How much show have I missed here?
About an hour.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I'll make it up. The last 3 hours I'll be here for all of them, I assume.
I think you will.
How are we looking over here with technology?
Technology is still befuddling us. It's not. We're running into the fact that whoever has the key, we are looking for the key master, and the key master is now suddenly unavailable.
Where's the gatekeeper?
That's the other thing. I think I am the gatekeeper, and I need to meet this key master.
But once you guys get together, I think their powers are going to. It's going to be overwhelming.
We're talking
for some people.
biblical stuff coming.
There could be
real into the world stuff.
There could be.
It could actually happen if we get the tech down.
Okay, so this is the other thing about the Dak situation that is odd. I won't say odd, but it makes me think that that the Cowboys are losing negotiations. Yesterday on the little ticket there in DFW, after they talked about the exceptions to the rules, after they talked about Mahomes and how he takes less money, they went to this. One of the great things about Texas is you don't have state income taxes. Companies like to move here because it's a lower cost of living than it is in some of those other big cities. Those are all things that we're trying to sell our players on so we can put other guys around Dak, CD, Micah, Diggs, Terrence Steele. At some point, we want to keep being able to put some guys around them. We understand it's at the same time, I understand they want to be paid, and it's their time to be paid, and we respect that as well. Certainly they deserve it. They do their job as well as anyone in the league. Whether you're talking about CD, Dak, Micah, Diggs, all these guys play at a high level and deserve to be paid. If you're talking about state income tax and low cost of living, that means these agents are busting you up. That is the only we're talking billionaires talking about we got we got no state income tax, and it's cheaper to live here than it is in New York City.
That is literally your last bastion, though. It will tip the scales. You can imagine. I mean, you get a free, considering the amount of money that he would be spending and the taxable income that he'd be bringing in any other state. We're talking about millions over the life of the contract. So it is a tool, but it's the last.
It's not what you say at this point.
That's exactly it. So you're talking about tax deferral.
And that's honest. Listen, I understand. Yes. Is that something you would use in a negotiation and say, hey, man, this is something to look at? It's not something you say in the media. You say, what the offer we've made to these guys, it's competitive when you consider the tax implication. That's not a good thing to say
as you wait for that to come through. And like I said, it's a viable thing, but I can't. It's going to be very interesting to watch the demeanor from Dak, because I think that you expect him to be a man unencumbered, who knows. Everything that's going around right now, it's going to be a passing thing. No matter what happens this year, my future starts the moment the league year begins next year, the moment I become a free agent. So am I above the fray? Am I going to play free like it doesn't matter? Or is there going to be that stress of coming in and, you've got X amount of days, there's going to be no contract discussions once the season starts. I can't imagine that would remain open. So we're at 25 days? Something like that, where this is it. And
this will hang over your heads every week of the season.
Now, would it hang over your head as the dude that's about to become a quarter billionaire? You know what I mean? Like I know, no matter what, I will be that. Would it hang over you more than your lineman, your coach, who also is dealing with stuff?
Dude, I don't think there's a person that will hang over more than Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
and I know that we. When are we going to have Mike McCarthy this week?
Thursday at 7.
Okay. And we'll have him every week here on the Morning Huddle. But I can't imagine a dude who is more affected by all of this nonsense without really being in the thick of it. Because that's the one thing we haven't heard anything. And I would assume, we've heard that, there's an offer on the table for CeeDee Lamb. There's an offer on the table for Dak Prescott. I don't think there's an offer on the table for Mike McCarthy. So he's kind of waiting for all this to play itself out. That's a guy who should be stressed out. All right. Hour number 2 coming up. We'll continue talking this Dak stuff, and we'll get into the Will McClay interview at 7:15. It is the Morning Huddle live from Oxnard on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live from the Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped, opt out. Paid for by American Protection Plans.
Honey, what's wrong?
The hot water just stopped out of nowhere.
Oh, no. I was worried the water heat. Old showers for a while. We can't afford to put in a new one right now.
I told you we should have gotten a home warranty plan from ARW Home. A new water heater would have been covered and ARW would have come right out and replaced it, no problem.
When major appliances or systems in your home break down, you get stuck with a huge bill. Thousands of dollars of your hard-earned money gone. Don't get caught. Protect your home and your wallet with a home warranty plan from ARW Home. Right now, you can get plans starting at about $1 a day. Just text MATURE to 200-300 to get started. Absolutely risk-free. Protect your heating, AC, kitchen, laundry appliances, and even your plumbing, water, and sewer. Text MATURE to 200-300 right now to get 2 months free. Don't wait. Plans start at about $1 a day. Text the word MATURE to 200-300. Text MATURE to 200-300.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Krispies. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
3 bands, 1 stadium.
Don't stop believing.
Journey, Def Leppard. The Steve Miller Band. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
94.1 FM, San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys cut cornerback Garyon Conley after he abruptly retired after just 3 practices into the season. Conley took to social media explaining he was in pain after his first surgery in his first year. Houston Texans defensive lineman Danico Autry, whom they signed on free agency this offseason, will miss 6 games this season after being suspended for the league for PEDs. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Center.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, live from Oxnard, California. This is Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe.
Hey, go to your device. I made it. I'm on camera.
Rob is in.
It took an hour. It took help from across this great country.
So you're back to yourself.
I am, but I had to go through this unique satellite link up. See, I'm not going the normal route you guys are.
What are you doing?
I had to
this.
strap a satellite dish to my back. You can't see it to actually get the broadcast out, but we got it done.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
So here we sit live from Oxnard. And I can actually say that I'm in your homes right now.
It's been a frustrating morning for your boys here at the Huddle.
A little frustrating, but it was more of a.
Rob was doing a lot of cussing during the breaks. I cussed when it wasn't a break.
I'm not even sure that's illegal anymore.
I think it is.
I think it's in a safe port.
It's at a minimum, it's frowned upon. I think.
Well, depending on context.
But I think our bosses wouldn't be thrilled with it. But sometimes those things happen.
So here we sit.
So we sit here in Oxnard, California, and we're talking about Dak Prescott, and more, it looks like Micah Parsons is going to be willing to wait until after this season to get his deal done. There's been conversation all offseason about those 3 deals getting done. It looks like now, at least, I don't know that he's content to wait, but he's at least willing.
Well, it's
to
really
wait.
not his turn. It's not like he should feel slighted. And
if he got paid this offseason, it would be the earliest you could possibly extend him. And the only thing about waiting a year is you're going to get paid more.
There is that. Now, there's no player, probably the most talented player on the Dallas Cowboys. But I agree. He's not playing for longevity here. He's just playing for money, right? There's not like I don't think there's any issue. And if you're feeling safe and comfortable there, the fact of the matter is I wouldn't be surprised, and I think he probably expects to be franchised. I think that he will probably end up getting franchised for a year or two, here in 2 years. And by the time he does, I mean, he'll be making as much as the average quarterback by the time he finally gets franchised.
Now with Dak, here's where we're at. Dak's going to make $40 million this year. It's the final year of his $40 million a year contract. The cap hit this year is $55 million. That's a big number because they've kicked the can down the road. They've restructured, and that's where we're at now. And the Cowboys have said out loud, we want Dak to be our quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Dak has said out loud he wants to be in Dallas. But both parties have said there's a real possibility of a world where we're apart. And once you start saying that, once you set that the framework, if you will, that there's a world where you're not together, it becomes easier and easier. It's almost like if you're in a marriage and you start talking divorce,
it's over.
It's a lot more likely to happen. If you never let that word come up, then you say, okay, well, that's not an option. We're going to fight through this. But once you acknowledge that that's an option, it's the easiest thing to fall to.
And you start taking those steps to close this down. And you get the sense that they're not there yet, but they both have openly for the first time said, like you said, there's a world out there where I'm not here and Jerry's like, and I'm not paying him. And I think that when you put that into the realist terms, and we're not quite there yet. There's still some time.
I don't think so either. But what we've seen is
I can't imagine what Jerry could do now. What's left? You just brought it up that all that we're talking about now is, well, there's tax breaks.
Yeah, the developments that have unfolded in Miami and Green Bay, Wisconsin, seem to lay the groundwork for what's next here, if that is indeed what's next here. And that's I think the real question is, does he want Dak to be here?
I think he would desperate to. No, I don't. I shouldn't say that. I do think there's a mutual wandering eye, a mutual, what would things be like if you weren't here? Though, for the kids, they might decide to give it another chance to sit down and go through therapy and figure out if there's a financial way to stay together. I just can't see where it is. And with every passing day, I can't see why Dak would suddenly say yes. Jerry's had 2 years to offer a Godfather deal to get him to say yes to money now instead of later. And to make things even more expedient, he was also not only facing paying his quarterback $41 million, but he's a net negative. He's $10 million negative in salary cap hit. This has been a problem for a long time. We're talking about it now, but this was a problem not just last year, the year prior. They knew this was coming. And the only thing in the way now is Dak. It's not Jerry. He can't come up with enough money.
Well, the Cowboys waited to the point where 2 years ago, 50 million would have been a pie in the sky number. And now that's kind of the starting number. You're like, there's not a world, I don't think, where Dak signs for less than 55 million a year.
Well, why, okay, we say that. We know Jerry knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a fool. He tells us every time. I've been in this league so long, I know it better than anybody. I know this league front to back. I know the finances, and we can throw in the potential of a $14 billion payout to the DirecTV types. He knows that too, and he'll brag about it. This is nothing new, and there's nothing left to say or do.
And there's no there's no, like this year, a quarterback draft where there's going to be 5 first-rounders. That's not happening. There's no free agents there's no Kirk Cousins coming into free agency next year.
Nope.
Dak's team understands, when I say Dak's team, I don't mean the Cowboys. Dak's team Prescott, understands the spot they're in as negotiators. And there's no reason for them to settle for, okay, if the floor is 55 million, why are they going to settle for that?
Why on earth would I say yes today to the same thing I said no to last week? Because there's nothing left for him to add. There's not another parking spot. We've already talked about that. So we're down to, if you live in Texas, you get about a 4% tax break. I mean, that's all you've got left to give.
And the other question would be, the Cowboys just are finished where they gave him a no trade. They gave him a no tag clause. Is that being negotiated again? Because I don't think the Cowboys I don't think Jerry can stomach that.
Never again.
Okay.
If you were an owner, would you ever? I mean, you only have a little bit of leverage in this world. I mean, he has the leverage of the check, and I can cut you, but I can't trade you ever.
Yeah,
that I would hope Jerry will never do that type of deal again.
But now, one thing about Dak, Dak comes across always. We see Dak publicly as nice guy, happy guy. What do you think Dak's feeling right now? Like, do you think Dak is feeling jilted? Do you think he's angry? What do you think his emotional state is?
When does free agency begin?
It's already.
When you were in the military, I used to know guys when they were getting close out. We called them 2-digit midgets.
Okay.
Forgive the term, but you're down to 20 and you're counting down. And I got 19 days, and I'm a free man. I'm out. I'll bet that Dak has an advent calendar. He is counting down to, I don't know when the free agency period begins in 2025, but that day he opens up that last little calendar piece and gets a little piece of chocolate, because that's a $250 million payday.
Yeah.
$230 guaranteed million coming your way next year. I think he's feeling pretty good about himself.
Jerry Jones said over the weekend, I get in trouble every time I make comparisons. I do get in trouble. Of course, we saw a head-to-head match with Green Bay last year. We've all got that burned in our saddle. I'm anxious for Dak to get his chance to show he's the best with a Cowboys star on him. That's how he's talking about Dak's number relative to Jordan Love's number, because he's saying, well, we saw Dak and Jordan Love play football against each other. Jordan Love got paid.
The winner.
To me, the translation is, you want to get money like Jordan Love, you ought to go win a game like Jordan Love won against you.
And, Dak did this before. I mean, Dak's willing to bet on himself, obviously. He's done it before, and he's doing it again. I like the idea of holding that over you. You're a deadline. If you don't succeed, you move on. Everybody I know is working without a contract. Everybody can get fired. So I don't think it's that unique. I think Dak is in the perfect place. No matter what happens, he's in good space. But his head coach isn't. And that dichotomy is the thing that I think will really throw a wrench into it. Because if I'm McCarthy and I'm looking at this and I'm looking over at Trey Lance, and as you said, there's no free agents coming, at least not of any value next year. And they don't seem to be in a position to grab any of the quarterbacks that I think might be okay. Shadur Sanders is the name you're going to hear a lot. I don't think they're in any position nor any desire to go get that. And you got a quarterback out with no contract and a head coach looking at the abyss. I think Dak skips onto the practice field and McCarthy's working 20-hour days.
And if McCarthy had another year on his contract, if McCarthy wasn't a lame duck, then he's coaching in a way where, and who knows, I don't know the internal thoughts of Mike McCarthy and whether or not he wants Dak to be his quarterback if he were to stay here.
Well, that's a line. We have to assume, yes, this is a second in MVP voting, but this was a guy that was forced on him the day he arrived.
Yeah. But the truth is now, without the success of Dak, Mike McCarthy's also without a job.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's fully invested in Dak having the kind of season that's going to potentially break the bank, because I know with 100% certainty, unless his head falls off, Dak Prescott is going to start making $55 million a year somewhere next year.
And that's even with a head falling off. I mean, we got a 40-year-old barely mobile quarterback in Kirk Cousins. I say 40, not that old, but no Achilles and raise and move. So, yes, Dak's going to get it.
Now, Mike McCarthy, I don't know.
We've asked that question of a couple people. I do believe that there'll be a team or two that will come after him. I think he'll be immediately reemployable at the current position. I don't think he'll have to come in as an OC, DC, or wait a couple of 4 years. I do think that if he was to be released or let go or walked away, like it appears, I think there'll be some.
Who do you think was thought of more highly in NFL coaching circles, Mike Vrabel or Mike McCarthy? Because I would argue it's Vrabel by far, and he's unemployed.
Yeah, but I think that might be by choice. But don't forget, McCarthy does have a ring. It's not like he's not done it.
Several rings, also unemployed.
Well, again, I think that was also by choice.
And there's no way he would work here. I think that
rumor bounced around a little bit.
That's a crazy rumor. Like, of all the places, Bill Belichick wants to be in a place where the owner doesn't say a word and doesn't think he knows anything about football.
Unfettered access is not under Belichick's realm. It doesn't happen.
But Mike McCarthy, I mean, would he get a head coach job? Presumably, but it's not a guarantee.
No.
So he's got every desire for Dak to break the bank at this point, which is awkward.
Your fortunes, I rely on your success, and you don't have to be successful to be successful. You don't have to do anything spectacular to go get
because he's paid no matter what.
Yes.
But McCarthy's not.
No.
If McCarthy goes 4-13 this year, he doesn't have a job next year.
He doesn't have a job.
Probably anywhere.
If he goes 4-13, he won't see the end of the year.
Yeah. Whereas Dak, if Dak goes 4-13, he will make $55 million next year somewhere.
I haven't heard, and I can't wait to see. Well, I have heard that Trey Lance has not looked good, that there's been some completion issues.
I can't believe that.
Well, I'm really eager to see today, because that would be the one thing, if you're McCarthy and you're sitting back watching, if you can just see a glimmer of hope from Trey Lance. I just got to see something, brother. Just something to show me if worst case comes. and I end up with this gig, and I'm still here, and you're still here. There's something for me.
All right. When we come back, we're going to play you guys the interview we had yesterday with Will McClay, the director of player personnel for the Cowboys. Had some interesting stuff to discuss with him. We'll do that, and then we'll hear from Stephen Jones later on in this hour. Mm-hmm. It is the Morning Huddle live from Oxnard, California, Cowboys Training Camp, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, as you sit comfortably in your homes, I'm up in Oxnard, California, missing some of the things that I'm very comfortable having. And first and foremost, it's my Kinetico water softener. I'll tell you what, you don't realize how nice it is to have a Kinetico until you leave and you're under some kind of foreign water substance. You know, you own a Kinetico, you know you're getting washed clean. There's nothing left on your skin. There's no powder on those dishes. The dogs can drink comfortably out of the dish, and you know there's no sediment in your refrigerator or in your pipes. You know that. Here, I'm glad I don't have to worry about my stuff because I don't know what Kinetico needs to do, but it needs to be something here in Oxnard. I don't like the water. I miss what I have at home. If you are living in San Antonio and don't have a Kinetico, you don't know what you're missing unless you call 656-PURE, because Kinetico will come out to your home and as soon as they can and put a Kinetico in the house for 90 days. You're not going to pay for it. They're not going to ask you for any kind of commitment until that 3 months is up, and then they'll come and ask you, and you'll probably end up just like me, a Kinetico customer for life, because once you sign with them, you'll have apples to apples, the best warranty you're going to find for any water softening program. So call 656-PURE today. Go to their website, KineticoSA.com. Sing it while you're typing and find out what we know. Kinetico is made, designed in the United States with South Central San Antonio and South Texas in mind. Call Kinetico today. Get one in your home, and I know you'll be thanking me later.
San Antonio Sports Star.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Join us now on the Morning Huddle, the Director of Player Personnel for the Dallas Cowboys, Will McClay. Will, how are you, man?
Good, man. Good.
What's it
out there in California?
This time of year? Is this an exciting time for you? Get to see what your new toys look like out there on the big green fields?
Yeah, it's an exciting time because we're building this team, and to get to see the young guys come in, the pieces that we put together, to see how it comes together. It is an exciting time. It's also a nervous time because, things happen like yesterday. You lose somebody that you're counting on, and we have to figure out how to move forward with that one.
Well, you guys, I think by most accounts, everybody seems to think you guys did a great job drafting in the trenches this year. You guys really focused on that. There was concerns about skill position, and you guys said, no, we're going to go with these big boys. So when you lose a guy like that, do you at least feel good knowing, hey, we made an investment there, so we've got something to work out? But then at the same time, does it give you pause when CD's not in camp and these things are popping up with the skill guys, and you're going, damn, it would have been nice if we invested that way?
Well, sure. It's like, after you buy something and something is at a lesser rate, God, I wish I'd have bought that. But we go into it looking for the best players, and we don't go for it looking for a specific position. So if we exercise that discipline, we get the best players at the right value. You have depth and you have all that ability. Now you get to see what those guys are about and can bring to you, because you're never one player away. And so that's what we do. And then we get a chance to see what they can bring to us. But hopefully if we go and do the right job of finding the right people that fit what we do, you got a chance to be better.
So 23 years with the Cowboys?
Something like that.
14, you've been head of the draft and doing all that. You talked about being nervous and kind of seeing your kids come out and play. What's more exciting for you, the new rookie or the third year guy that you see make that jump after a couple of years of growth?
The third year guy, the guys that have been with you and that you've made that investment in, and that they grow into hopefully what you expect. Like when we talk in the draft, we talk about getting a return on investments. Every pick, everything you do, we want to get a return on investment, so we at least don't go broke. We want riches. And so if we pick the right people that develop the right way, now when that second year, that jump from first year to second year, and that jump from second year to third year, you begin to know who they are as people. Now they're yours. And so that's also the investment.
He is Will McClay, Director of Player Personnel, drafting, and we're talking about the draft right now. I was reading a synopsis of last year's draft, and it said you were looking for physicality in the 23 draft. Is physicality a physical thing or a mental thing?
I think it's a combination of both. You have to make that conscious decision. Football is one of those sports that not everybody does.
Right.
So you may have to make that conscious decision to put your body on somebody else. Then you have to love doing that, and then love getting better at doing that at a high level. So I think it's more of the mental approach. Right. We had a deal where there was a group, we were talking about it, and the physical side, it's easy to see. It's the ability and desire to apply that physicality is the true witchcraft of what you do. And you see that jump because you have more confidence in your ability. If I'm a rookie, I come in and I was at Rice University and I was the stud. Now I come in and now I'm Dak Prescott. So now it's the growth that has to happen.
You didn't have to drop Rice in there.
I did. I really don't give money, so I'm at least going to drop it.
Okay. He's an owl. He had to let us know.
Now with Marshawn, when you guys made the switch on the defense, did you envision him fitting where he's going to now be asked to fit since the injury?
Yes, because he is an explosive, physical defensive end that can play the physical nature, the man on man, take the double teams, but he can also use his physical abilities to also win the speed things and do all that. And then his approach to the game and the physicality brought. So we thought he could play a number of different positions as opposed to one specific one with his skill set. So that gives us flexibility.
And does having a guy like Micah, who you could probably play in a lot of different positions, give you flexibility? When you've got to fill another hole, you can just move Micah to the hole and then put someone who fits something better in that spot. Is that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you have those players that are special and that are different, and you know who they are. And you have those other pieces that have to fit around it. So the more versatile pieces you have, the more flexible you can be schematically and if an injury happens.
With Micah, who is obviously in the news about a contract, wants to be extended, does he care where he plays? Because obviously he wants to put up numbers. Guys in contract years love to put up numbers. Is that something that you see playing into his mind at all?
I'm pretty sure it's 2024, and the way society is, guys are always looking for what gives them the opportunity to maximize what they have. So, number one thing that's important to Micah is winning and winning here and winning now, and I'm sure all that other stuff comes out. But
do you have to define him as a linebacker or an end, depending on the play?
That all comes down to the
depending
contract.
on the contract. Exactly
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
We talk a lot about the defense. On the offensive side of the ball, you have had an eye for linemen. Whatever your scouting process is, you find them. What exactly is it about the way you search for linemen that kind of they end up here?
Well, it's kind of, it's the Cowboys have had the greatest offensive line, or one of the better offensive lines in football forever. So you follow that tradition, and it kind of makes it easier. And then the people that you have in the room already, now you bring guys in, well, they're going to follow that example, and they're going to become that because that group demands it. And we've been fortunate to have those guys. When you have a Zach Martin, you have the guys that we have. The young guys come in, they can only get better or get out. And that's the way that
I think you're declining some of the skill that you have. There is an eye. There's something that you're seeing that's obviously separate from other guys.
It's our group and the way that we do it, and then understanding what we're putting them into. And again, I've got a perfect example that we talk about all the time. Our college scouts go out and they go into these different petri dishes. Every situation is different. If you look at your building, that's the original petri dish. And so if we can kind of look for those guys that fit that, we have an opportunity to be successful.
In an ideal world, you draft a tackle in the first round. You've got a guy like Tyron too. If you know he's leaving, you've got a year for him to work and mentor. Kind of in this situation, it's like he's gone. This new guy's in. You worry about losing an anchor like that and having a new guy come in and not having that guy to look at and see this is how we do things here.
Well, I mean, again, we would have loved to have had the people back that were here, but the business of it doesn't allow it. But you still have some of those pieces, and the Tuma is a good player. We feel good about that. And so we felt comfortable about that position prior to the draft. And then we add the guys that we did in the draft. So they're still following along that chain. Still got Zach Martin in the room, and he's the leader of that. And the young guys are stepping up. And so you got Terrence Steele, who's been here, came up in that group. So it all continues as long as they fall in line, and then the great coaching that they get from Coach Solar and Coach Chin Young and what they demand. It's always a good group to be around. I love the offensive line because that's where it's won. It's won, obviously.
Wide receiver, obviously CD with the contract stuff is the name that everybody's kicking around. But the thought is, who are the other guys? Who's going to fill in around him? And if he misses any kind of time, who are you guys hoping is ready to be the guy now?
We're continuing to find out now because it's now proved yourself with that opportunity. I think, we have Brandon Cook, who's a consummate pro, and as long as the young guys come in and follow that lead and they have the ability, because you see the growth of Tolbert last year when, as guys continue to play that first year jump, that second year jump, you get to see that. And, with these exposures that we have now, certain people are jumping out, and now we have to see if that continues. With that exposure and experience, you get an opportunity to find out about them. So we have to take advantage of those reps that guys get when CD's not here to find out about them.
What's a day like for you? Like, I know player day off today, a little bit different than your normal day, but how much time are you on the phone looking at what's going around? How much time are you spending out on the field? What's the days? A lot of places at once.
The days are long. We started and at the beginning of camp, like we'll have the whole staff in and we talk about how we're getting ready to hit the road. The college scouts are going out on Tuesday. We'll have meetings in the morning. We'll go into team meetings. Then there'll be practice. We'll go through the practice. We'll watch the practice tape. where are the injuries. We're looking at continuing to look at who's available, the waiver wire every day. And then we start, like I'll have conversations with different GMs and personnel people throughout the league and what do you need? So we kind of start getting a feel for where people are.
You know, we're watching that Hard Knocks thing going on with the GM behind the scenes. Do you like the idea of the curtain being pulled back?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Because everybody's got their own little trade secrets, or there's a lot of things that go on. You're dealing with people and emotions and all that stuff. Sometimes you don't want, I prefer to keep some things in house.
How much of business is done the way that it portrayed on that show, where guys are just talking like, hey, will you give me a couple firsts for this guy? Does it ever, like, just random conversations pop up like that?
Yeah, you have those conversations. Sometimes you drop a little crumb to see who bites, and it's interesting at the combine. People just think it's about interviewing and finding out about the players. A lot of face-to-face conversations go on that start. You just throw things out. And you might say, okay, you got to get an idea from the feelings from the conversations, and that helps you formulate how you're going to address it and talk about certain things like trades. But we do it just kind of random.
Well, it's been certainly interesting. It's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for stopping by for us today.
Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Will McClay, the director of player personnel for the, or I guess the VP of player personnel.
Now a vice president. He's got a real close parking spot.
It's bigger than director.
And a key to the executive washroom.
Oh,
big deal.
The pee and poop room.
The pee and poop room.
Nice. But yeah, Will McClay, appreciate him taking the time for us yesterday. And you may say, well, that sounded a little different than they sound now. That's because we literally put a microphone on a table and just sat around chatting with him. And you'll be able to see some of that, I think, on our social media stuff. If you don't follow SA Sports Star on the social medias, you might want to do that. Or you're dead to us.
If you're not following us by now, what are you doing?
But you will see some clips from that Will McClay interview, and it's literally like we put a microphone down and said, let's chat for a little bit, and he was kind enough to sit down with us and hash it out.
He's going to be busy the next couple of days. He's got to find an outside pass rushing linebacker.
That's right. Now, the Blitz had a chance to talk to good old Stephen Jones yesterday. We'll hear some of that. We'll talk about what he had to say. It is the Morning Huddle, live from Oxnard, California, Cowboys Training Camp, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is day 2 for us here at Cowboys Camp in Oxnard, California. We get the #1 draft pick.
Yeah, all 6'7" Tyler Guyton is going to join us live here on the Blitz. Plus, our first look at the Cowboys in pads as our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp coverage continues starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will CeeDee Lamb show up for training camp or hold out for a new deal? San Antonio Sports Star is live from Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California, with the answer to that question and others. Team coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds continues all this week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support and lifespan.
Their joints are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful even as they age.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend using 50 years of nutritional research and experience, helping dogs make incredible turnarounds. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Crispies. They're wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, my son's teacher emailed his back to school list. He needs crayons and a comp book for every subject.
Okay, no problem. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a card, please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 8/24, in-store only, limit 10.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is Cowboys Training Camp coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. And this is and Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. This is an exciting time to be covering the Dallas Cowboys. You know, there's probably some teams that don't have drama, or at least have significantly less drama than we've got out here in Oxnard for the football teams that they're covering. I, for one, appreciate a little drama when it comes to football.
You're in the right place.
And we've got it, friends. Stephen Jones sat down with the boys from the Blitz yesterday, and they asked him a variety of questions. If you want to listen to the interview in its entirety, you can go find it on yesterday's program. We're not going to play the whole interview for you because, you know, that would be I think plagiarism would be I think we'd be stealing their stuff.
That's research.
But But we did pull some clips from it, and I thought there were some interesting things that Steven had to say, particularly regarding Dak Prescott. And that's, to me, this is the story of training camp. It's not CeeDee Lamb, even though Dak is here and CeeDee's not, because maybe I'm foolish, and maybe in 2 weeks we'll look back at this statement and say, well, that was dumb, AJ. But I feel confident that CeeDee Lamb is going to be here.
Yes, I do too. I think we'll see him this week.
I feel confident that Dak is going to be here at camp, but I don't feel confident that Dak's issues are going to be resolved by the time the season starts. And I do feel like CeeDee Lamb's are. So I'm less concerned about the guy who's not here, because I'm like, oh, that's going to get taken care of. I don't know that Dak is going to get taken care of. But they asked Steven about Dak, and he basically said it's out of our hands. It's on Dak now.
Right now the ball's in his court, and we're waiting to hear from them, and they understand that the ball's in their court. But anyway, I do hope Dak has a great birthday today. And I'm sure at some point here, Dak can call it an elated celebration or whatever he wants to call it. But we want to continue to work hard to get his contract done.
Yeah, and of course, yesterday was Dak's birthday.
I want you to guess real quick. What do you think the offer is? What do you think that the offer is out there? Because
$55 million.
You know it's right there, right?
It is. But it's what I said earlier. If you're Dak, why would you take $55 million out? That's the floor.
Exactly. Now there's ways you can get around it. I mean, and I think as far as the offer goes, I'm not sure Dak is expecting much more than 55. But I think he's probably
guarantees and things like that.
A whopping guarantee. I think
and honestly, I really think he may be on the no tag, no. Although, let's face it, him being tagged at the end of this deal is so unlikely.
Oh yeah,
because it's on your second contract is when that's the most likely to happen, and now he's through that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any concern that he'll overstay his welcome after the next contract. I think that this is the money one. I don't think they're stuck there. It's just not enough money. So if you feel like, I mean, Jerry's no fool. He saw what was coming for Jordan Love and Tua, and he knows that he's probably right in that area, knew that was coming. But what would it be for Dak to look at it and go, no? Well, you figure it's not long enough, or it's too long, or there's not enough guaranteed, or what is guaranteed is too backloaded, or whatever it might be. If it's that, he'll sign. If it's that, if we're talking about crossing T's and dotting I's and how the money is distributed, he's going to sign. But if there's not enough money, there's no more coming. And I get the sense that Steven and Jerry are like, I don't know what else you want us to do. This is it. That's enough. And they've come to the realization we're going to part as friends.
And it boils down to the real question at the heart of this. And I don't know that any of us know the answer. We know what they're going to say. But at the heart of it, are we certain that Dak wants to be a Dallas Cowboy? And at the heart of it, are we certain that the Cowboys want Dak to be their quarterback long term? I can't give you a solid answer on either of those things.
It's that they both have wandering eyes. I think both of them feel like they could do better.
I think so.
You know what I mean? I could do better with just an opportunity, though. I don't want to hurt the kids. So we're going to try to play this out or find a reason to break this thing up.
Maybe it's going to be an open marriage.
Well, I think we're headed.
Like maybe sometimes he'll play for the Saints, and then he'll come back every other week.
Yeah. We get visitation.
Yeah. When he said the ball's in Dak's court, he's referring to the fact that they did make a new contract offer, and apparently they've gone back and forth a couple times with both Dak and CD. Here's what Steven had to say about the offers.
We keep having multiple exchanges with CD in terms of what he's doing. He actually, not that we're going to do this every day, but he actually sent us something late yesterday. So. We continue to grind away on it, and I would characterize both negotiations as very cordial and upbeat, and we're optimistic we'll continue to work toward getting something done.
They keep saying upbeat, negotiations. What does that mean?
Nobody cussed at each other.
Are you smiling and
walked away,
high-fiving while you discuss these numbers?
Things, exchange pleasantries.
Yeah.
And they were nice.
I'd love $55 million. Well, we'd love to give you $55 million.
But
this is a very upbeat discussion.
It's been very upbeat. Now we can go away.
Yeah.
What do you think CD sent him last night?
An emoji of a bag.
Exactly. Now we're
Fill
not doing
my
it every
bag.
day, but we heard last night from him. He sent us something.
He sent us a bag emoji and a face with $ eyes and a tongue with a $sign on it. What does that mean?
It wouldn't shock me after the players' day off yesterday if CD walked in today. It really wouldn't.
I don't think it would shock me either.
Because then we start getting past the business side of things.
And when you say it wouldn't shock you, and the reason why I agree with you is that's the simple negotiation.
Yeah, there's no discussion here. This is the dollars.
Like whatever Justin Jefferson's deal is probably not only the floor, but probably also the ceiling for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, you figure, what would you be chasing? Would you be chasing Justin's check or guarantee? Because I think there might be some gray area in there where they're talking.
Yeah, and we found that Tua was willing to take a little bit less on an annual basis to get some more guaranteed. So Jordan Love remains the highest paid player, which, usually it's the next guy is the highest paid guy. If I'm CD, I want more guaranteed money. But the numbers are so clear. Like, I don't mean to say it like CeeDee Lamb thinks this, because he probably doesn't, but it's almost consensus that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football.
Yeah.
If you take his deal and say, hey, I would like this, I think CeeDee Lamb would be happy with that. If you said, hey, you might not be the best wide receiver, but you're paid exactly what the best wide receivers paid, that's a win.
Yeah, he's skipping into camp. I just can't imagine, unless there's something behind the scenes that we haven't heard, that there's only acrimony is when you do want to come in and sign the deal. But this is what it is.
But with Dak, we just saw a guy who's had 18 career regular season starts become the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. That's the starting point for Dak. That is the floor, and there's no reason for Dak to settle for the floor.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's a much more difficult negotiation, because if you push the exact contract offer to CeeDee Lamb that Justin Jefferson got and he says no, then he's being unreasonable, in my opinion.
And that might be where we're sitting today. But at some point, the football itch hits, and you start realizing guaranteed versus total and this and that. You're the second highest paid, first highest paid wide receiver.
Or even if you're a tie for the highest paid. And that's the thing. If you're not the best in the whole wide world at something, but you're paid exactly like the best guy in the whole wide world,
then you are the best guy.
Then you're the best guy. Yeah. Like if you're paid a little bit less than him, you could say, okay, well, maybe they don't think of me as the best. If you're paid exactly what the best guy in the world is paid, you're the best guy in the world. So you've got to be happy with that.
And then on the backdrop with every one of these conversations we have is Mike McCarthy standing behind with his arms crossed going, what the hell? I mean, dude, come to camp.
Yeah,
man,
please.
I got
bills to pay.
I got college tuition. I'm going to have to pay soon.
A real issue all of a sudden.
A quarterback leaving. I got a wide receiver that won't show up.
The idea of Dak going somewhere else has been kicked around. And here's what Steven had to say about the possibility of Dak leaving.
Certainly, Dak's a resilient guy and strong-minded, and that's what makes him special. He's got, rare leadership qualities, and he just goes out there and goes to work, which my hat's off to him for that. But we think in terms of being real positive that we're going to get this done, and we don't picture Dak in another uniform at all. And we want to just keep grinding and get to a point where we can get him signed, because we do believe, that the worm's going to turn and he's going to win a championship for us, and believe he's the guy, the right man for the job to do that. And he's, like I said, he's got rare leadership qualities with this football team. It's like the Pied Piper. Everybody wants to get in behind him and follow him, and no one's going to outwork him, and no one's going to do things the right way more so than number 4.
So now it's like, we don't want to think about what life will be like without him, but I think they have to have considered it. They have to have considered it.
It's interesting how he's quantified too. He's a Pied Piper. He works hard. he grinds.
It's all nice. It's coach speak.
But none of that had anything to do with on the field talent. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
that's why I think
Mike and Steven and Jerry, the grade they see on the field. I know you were second in MVP voting and you've thrown for 6,000 yards the last 5 years, but there's something when you look at the amount of money I'm going to pay you. And I know that Aaron Rodgers is old and done, but his arm is still far better than yours. And I could say Jordan Love is probably a more accurate thrower. I could say the next 4 dudes are at least no more accurate. You're no more accurate than they are, Dak. So there is always that physical side, the actual skill of being a quarterback that I still think falls into question with some of the coaches. That, he's a leader, he's a grinder, and people want to follow him. But I didn't hear him say he can put a ball on a postage stamp for 35 yards. I didn't hear that.
Well, and I think that's where what Jerry said yesterday about, we've seen what Jordan Love did. And I think that's him saying, like, hey, this is what I'm saying about on the field is you had a chance
and you didn't lead them.
You didn't do it
several times. So, water off Dak's back. Dak's back. He doesn't care. I mean, what do you care? I'm like $250 million next year, accurate or not.
All right. The final clip here is Steven. They asked him about just that. Like, what is the potential for Dak to win in the playoffs? And here's what Steven had to say.
I just think, guys like that, it eventually goes their way. When you work that hard, eventually things are going to come to you. And I think that's going to happen. I mentioned to another group over here this morning, I think a guy like Matthew Stafford, a homegrown product from Highland Park, who had, grinded it out, played at a high level, but didn't win a lot of games there at his original team, and then goes out to L.A. and wins a championship. He gets with the right group of guys. I think we're eventually going to put the right team around Dak, and he's going to get the job done.
Or he's going to be around another team with the right
Now,
guys.
That was interesting to bring up Matt Stafford, of all people. He's like, didn't have a lot of success in his first stop. Then he went to a new team, and he won a Super Bowl.
So we're hoping
that's what you're talking. That's what you're saying about your free agent to be quarterback is that we think he can do what Matt Stafford did.
I think you hit it early on. Once you start vocalizing, once you start manifesting the possibility that we would be separate, I think that was a misspeech from Steven. I don't think he meant that kind of analogy because the analogy was appropriate. It wouldn't shock me at all if Dak landed someplace and won a Super Bowl. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. And I think the more appropriate analogy is exactly how Steven used it, not the way he tried to reverse it. I think he hit it right the first time. I think about so Stafford and leaving.
Yeah, and that's a distinct and real positive. And boy, imagine the pain for Cowboy fan if Dak goes somewhere else and has great success. And the other thing I hadn't really thought of until we got out here, and I was like, where could he end up? Imagine next year if Dak Prescott's a New York Giant.
It's not that far out of the realm.
It's not at all.
They got the money and they're ready to get rid of it.
They are ready to move on from their quarterback. And again, watching that show, it makes it so obvious that if they would have been one spot up in the draft, I think they'd have a quarterback on their team instead of a wide receiver. But they just didn't have enough to move up to 3. It wouldn't shock me in the least if Dak becomes a free agent that the landing place is New York. And that would just kick Jerry in the balls so hard.
It would be absolutely appropriate, given that Jerry, even though he didn't push him, well, at the end of the day, if he does leave, which I expect that he will, Jerry will be the responsible party. He will be the reason at the end of the day that Dak left because, like I keep saying, at every opportunity, Jerry shortchanged him or made him wait.
And there's other options. I mean, he could end up in New Orleans, which I think would also piss Jerry because he's so close. In Seattle, but the Giants just seem like such a likely spot because they're ready to make a change. The Cowboys are doing this against their will. Seemingly, or at least there's confusion. I don't think the Giants are confused.
They've decided out of spite.
I think so too. I really believe that. They'd be like, well, we're not crazy about Dak, but it would really ruffle Jared's feathers. Yeah. So let's get him. I could fully see that. So that's the thing to consider is if he goes somewhere else and wins, how are you feeling as a Cowboy fan? But how's Jerry feel as like, I hear it all the time. Like he feels like he's running out of time to win something. If he, before he dies, the last breath he takes, he knows that freaking Dak Prescott won a Super Bowl for the New York Giants. Oh my. Can you even imagine?
A pox on your house, a curse on all coming forward. Now, man, that would be the ultimate fear, and it's more likely than I think even Jerry thinks.
All right, we've got more from Stephen Jones on the other side. We are at Cowboys Training Camp out here in Oxnard, California. It's the Morning Huddle. Sun's coming up, baby. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live from the Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Bill Belichick is joining Inside the NFL for the upcoming season. I guess he's tired of babysitting, so he needs to get out of the house on occasion. Now, anybody that's upset with Bill Belichick because he's dating a 2-year-old, I mean. She's not 2. Oh, she is legal. Hey, I applaud it. You're just jealous. No, I'm not jealous. You sound jealous.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bourbon and Brews is heading south for the summer, but don't worry. We're now introducing Twin Peaks Tequila and Cervezas. It's a fiesta every Friday at Twin Peaks with samples of our favorite tequilas and cervezas all summer long. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Play ball! Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. O'Reilly Auto Parts has batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers, no, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys cut cornerback Garyon Conley after he abruptly retired after just 3 practices into the season. Conley took to social media explaining he was in pain after his first surgery in his first year. Houston Texans defensive lineman D'Amico Autry, whom they signed on free agency this offseason, will miss 6 games this season after being suspended for the league for PEDs. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, boys and girls. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
55 and clear is what it says on my laptop. I think that's a little bit warmer than we are feeling.
It is chilly. It feels cooler than the temperature says it is. Even although we're in a little tent, I say a little tent, it's a good sized tent.
It is.
It's a lot cooler outside the tent than inside. So I think we're lucky that we're a little insulated here, but it is still, it's brisk. That's maybe the word.
And we're not complaining. Don't get us wrong. We understand.
No, I mean,
that we
don't want to be sweating.
It's a little cool for my very delicate Southern demeanor.
Daniel Rodriguez says, "Hey, Bubba, Vrabel's a consultant with the Browns," which that's cool. But Mike Vrabel a year ago was looked at as like one of the best X's and O's one of the best just head coaches. Period. Certainly one of the best motivators in the game, and now he's not a head coach anymore. Like being a consultant is fine, but they didn't. These guys didn't work their way up the ladder to be consultants. They want to have their hands on the thing.
What is he here? What exactly do you think he's consulting?
I don't know. He's getting a paycheck. God bless him. But
that's the coaches help each other out, and he's
it ain't a head coach salary.
Plans. Yeah, he's writing game plans. What do you think he's doing? They're not going to let him step in and be the coach there. They got a coach.
It ain't a head coach salary. I know that much.
It's him.
All right. Going back to the Blitz's interview with Stephen Jones yesterday, they asked him about getting deals done and it's not as cut and dry as it may seem to you and I. There's a science to this stuff, Rob. I mean, we think it's easy.
I want you to listen to this. I hate it when I get mansplained.
Here's Stephen talking about the art of the deal.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just getting people at peace with where the numbers might fall. And certainly, it's more than just the APY. It's more than the total. It's more than, hey, what's the guarantee at this point in time or that point in time? What's the actual cash flow of the contract? There's a lot of moving parts when you're talking about this amount of money. I mean, it's you're obviously talking about, big dollars, whether it's in the 50s or the 30s. It's a whole lot of money. And certainly, this is generational type contracts for these guys. And they deserve what they get because they play the game at such a high level, whether you're talking about a Dak or a CD. At the same time, deep down, I know they don't, their agents don't like to talk about it, but they understand what we're trying to do. I mean, whatever we don't pay Dak or do pay Dak or don't pay CD, it's not money that we're going to save to go buy a car with. I mean, this money's going to be allocated to other people on this football team. And that's what we're trying to do, is just we're trying to manage it. And Jerry and I have just happened to have the final say in how we do that, with a lot of great input from Will McClay and his staff and Mike McCarthy and his staff, certainly trying to figure that out. But this isn't something where we're trying to save money to make money. We're trying to just figure out how to put the best possible talent we can around what we've been fortunate enough to draft here. A guy like a Dak, a guy like a CD, a guy like Micah, a guy like Diggs. I mean, those are all guys that we're trying to, move it around for and make it all work so that we can ultimately do what I know everyone in this organization wants to do, whether it's the coaches, the players, the ownership, is win a championship.
And to that end, I'll ask you this, Rob. Do you think, because it feels like, I mean, obviously there's pressure internally, this feels like a season where if you're saying the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl this year, you're kind of like out on a limb. I think there's not, I think people expect the Cowboys to be good, but does anybody on a national standpoint, or anybody that's not in the Dallas organization, think that the Cowboys should win a Super Bowl this year?
Well, should's the key term, right? I think that they're in the group of, 6 that could.
Yeah.
Well, things go well, they certainly could. And I think that's kind of always been the plan for the Cowboys.
They're at the back end of that group.
They're in the back end. But I think realistically, when I hear Steven talking, the way they act, they say one thing, but they act another way. Follow what they do, not what they say. They told us they were all in. They weren't.
No.
This is a team that's happy being in the group of teams that could win. If everything goes right, we could win. But this is also more about this sustaining the thing that is the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are far bigger than just a football team. It is a brand. It's an entity, and that engine is chugging down the tracks with Jerry, driving it toward, $14 billion. This is just part of the continuum there. And Steven is upbeat because he knows, there's change coming. And you wonder when he and Jerry sat down, whenever they decided, whatever the plan is, that when they went through the offseason, I get the sense that they thought it might be a little romantic. That they would go into the end this season, no quarterback contract, no head coaching contract. You got CD just hanging on. He'll play one more year. He might get paid too. And there'd be this romantic, the Expendables, we go save the day and we all get paid. I think that looked really gallant in Jerry and Steven's minds back about 6-8 months ago when the decision was made not to pay Dak.
Are they doing Hard Knocks next year? Do we know? Because
I think they're getting to the point where they can do it again.
I think so.
They've gotten to where other teams had to be here because Jerry would say yes every year.
Well, except next year they might have a first-year head coach. I think and then you're not on the list.
Then you get out of it one more year.
And talking to Will McClay yesterday, he's like, I don't want to be on that. No way. They asked Steven yesterday, Stephen Jones. They asked him about the Super Bowl hype around this team. Here's what he had to say.
As Jerry said so eloquently, we're tired of winning the preseason pub deal. We want to be the ones they're talking about at the end of the season. So we like our football team. Tad points it out to everybody. I think we've got 14 Pro Bowlers and 12 All-Pros. So it's a good, sound football team. And we think we got some good young guys that we drafted. We call it kind of our supplemental draft. And then we got guys like Overshone and John Stevens and guys coming back from injuries that weren't able to play last year because of unfortunate ACL injuries. And we get Diggs back. So we really like our football team.
They are talented. I mean, I think Steven could walk in and with any other GM or whatever he calls himself across the NFL. You just said it: 14 Pro Bowlers, 12 All Pros.
Good roster.
There's talent to be had, and then you turn and he looks at us and says the same thing over and over. But we got to pay those guys too. And he gives us the mansplaining of, I don't get to keep any of the money. We know that, bro. This isn't about right. I ain't
buying a car.
I mean, I don't know who you're explaining this to, but what Jerry and Steven fail to see is we knew this was coming, or at least something like this was coming all along. And you acted as if there's something else happening, but we've seen this. We know exactly what's happening. This is not a surprise how we got here, because you've done it twice before with Dak. And the idea that you don't have enough money, yeah, you don't, but you could have. If you'd have planned appropriately, you could have had all the money you needed 2 years ago. So don't give me that either.
And then finally, Steven they talked to him about the guys who are back, and, the offseason, I don't know. But to me, the offseason didn't go as well as you would have thought it would in an offseason where they said they were all in.
Dude, it was a train wreck. It has been a fiasco for the Cowboys. It couldn't have gone worse. They came into the season. They got their number one wide receiver not in camp. Their head coach, no contract. The quarterback, no contract.
You replaced two offensive linemen, like key offensive linemen, with rookies.
They're out the door. You let two defensive linemen go on a pass, a defensive-minded coach who likes down or upfield pass rush. You couldn't have handled this offseason any worse. Now, I applaud Will McClay for working under the circumstances, but let's not kid ourselves. It was a disaster for the Cowboys in the offseason.
Well, here's what Steven had to say about the returning guys, the guys who are back for this Cowboys team.
Well, I think our draft picks are all doing a really fine job, and I mentioned quite a few of those guys, but one down the line is Carson, the corner. Keeps making plays. He's batting balls down. He's getting picks. He's a guy that is going to really push that corner room, and I think make some activity. Of course, mentioned Freeman, that he's been shouldn't have been a surprise because he's productive with the Rams, but he's even shown up more so than we expected. So it's a good group. I mentioned the other young guys, Nealon and Guyton and BB and Maris, but in general, I would say that draft class, along with the guys who were hurt last year that are coming back, a guy like Overshone and John Stevens, look forward to all those guys, making contributions.
And, of course, next year I'm looking forward to Sam Williams making contributions.
At some point, it'll all come together for him, we hope.
It is kind of nice. It's almost like I've talked about with the Rangers, that Jacob deGrom is like making a deadline deal because you haven't had him. Now you're going to have him. You get some of these players back from the injuries. That is, it's almost like getting a free agent. A guy you didn't have last year, now he's here.
Truth. And they're talking about another cornerback performing. That should scare. If that's possible, if this Cunningham, I can't wait to see him, is pushing along with the talent, Deron Bland already there. I mean, if we can go 4 deep at cover wide receiver, Zimmer is in a far better position than he thought he would be.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll have some more sound later on in the program. But I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. He is frustrated with some of his Jets teammates. This season, if we think what's going on here is wild, I think the Jets might be the only team that's more of a clown show this year than the Dallas Cowboys. It is. I think it's going to be, and I think the Cowboys can have some. I think the Cowboys can have some success, on the field. I think there's a real possibility the Jets just completely underperform expectations, and it's a nightmare. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is day 2 for us here at Cowboys Camp in Oxnard, California. We get the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, all 6'7" Tyler Guyton is going to join us live here on the Blitz. Plus, our first look at the Cowboys in pads as our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp coverage continues starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you miss the Blitz and you miss this.
What Bill Taylor is up with all this rain?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
I thought you were him.
No, not today.
Okay. He's like a hero today because we're getting all this rain.
He's got that old weather thing going on.
What does that mean?
Well, we used to tease Bill every time weather like this. And of course, he's going to be the featured dude on all the newscasters.
Yeah.
He's a little weather woody.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, my name is Jared, and this is Matt. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A maple pepper bacon sandwich is that sweet and savory flavor combo. I love the grilled chicken because of how juicy it is. It has that perfect smoked flavor.
And then the crunch of the pickles and the sweet heat that they bring just ties it all together.
And that crispy sweet bacon, it adds so much flavor.
Ties in amazing with the warm, soft bun. You can really taste the sweetness in every bite.
The maple bun is bringing the fun.
Order the maple pepper bacon sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea and water damage as far as the eye can see. It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com. You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off. From first downs and touchdowns.
That's right.
To turnovers. No! And overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice. Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply. It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
A football sale is going on now at Team Express Superstore. Helmets, shoulder pads, uniforms, and performance apparel, cleats, and all other equipment must go. 75% off all apparel and footwear. Up to 60% off everything else. Team Express Superstore on East Nakoma.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual Back to School Drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on a Tuesday. Hello, Tuesday.
AJ, I'm sorry, I'm getting here. I was
You were just
the weight room.
Yeah, you were jamming out.
Well, no, over the years, one of the things I like to watch is the politics of the locker room and the weight room, because they're everywhere you go. These guys are it's all about taking somebody's job. That's part of being an athlete.
Yeah.
And the guy that controls the music in the locker room, the music in the weight room, is the guy with the biggest, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So, Tyron Smith, for the last 10 years, was always the first guy in the locker room if he was healthy. And he chose the music, and it was normally mid-70s R&B. And
he's bigger than everybody.
Yes.
That helps, too.
And you knew when Tyron hit the weight room. We could tell every morning. Oh, Tyron's in there. I could hear, I don't know, you could name
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, it was a little bit more recent than that. Like Mary J. Blige, he was big.
Oh, okay.
So you'd hear that, and you're like, okay, Tyron's lifted. Right now, they're all lifted. It is it's
6:20 here.
6:20 here. The weight room is full, and you know what music's being played? North to Alaska, the Johnny Reb song back from the 70s. The times have changed with the Cowboy Training Camp. There was no North to Alaska in the weight room over the last decade.
Well, who's in charge?
I'm telling
That's the
you,
next question.
I'm very interested.
Or do you think we find out this week who's in
We're gonna have
charge?
to ask who's playing the music early.
You know who's in charge in the Jets organization right now is Aaron Rodgers. He decides when he's going to practice. He decides if he's going to show up or if he's going to go to Egypt or Bolivia or
licking frogs,
wherever he's at. But he was not pleased with the way training camp is going. Rodgers threw an interception on the second play yesterday that bounced off Alan Lazard's hands. And
that's his guy, though. That's Alan Lazard. He brought it from Green Bay. That's his guy.
Pardon us, as they are literally mowing like right outside our tent.
Vacuuming the carpet?
Let's have some respect, guys.
Come on, we're on air here.
What are you doing? Mowing the lawn today? I mean, you could have done that yesterday. There were a handful of sacks, although obviously there's no taking the quarterback down, but they got to him a bunch of times. And the biggest issue was the center, Joe Tippmann, who had somewhere between 6 and 10 off-target snaps that had Aaron either jumping up to try and save the ball or reaching down to get it. And he did not have a great day. Someone stepped on it. One of his linemen stepped on his foot, and it took him down. He would say he was apparently just flipping out, dog cussing the Aaron Rodgers way. I think this is going to end up being a disaster, Rob. I really do.
I don't, man. Everything you're saying sounds to me like they've got the right guy at the right time, because I do think no, seriously, keep in mind, this is the Jets, and I am looking forward to the chaos. But I do think if you'd ask Aaron a month ago, what do you think you are going to do on Monday the 29th? He said, I'll probably show up second day of practice, and I'm going to get mad at everybody around because I'm a Super Bowl champion, and I know what it takes. So I need to show everybody that. I guarantee you the plan was to have a bad practice. Now, it turned out he really did, but I think he wanted to come in and I'm a Super Bowl champ. I showed you what we could do last year. Too bad I didn't help you. We all got to fight every play. That kind of crap, which we all agree you need to have. It just seemed like it was so absolutely scripted. Of course, Aaron Rodgers having trouble with this center, and you want to go, dude, maybe if you'd have showed up for that last couple of days OTAs, the snap problems wouldn't have been an issue, but you were in Egypt. But you can be mad today, boss.
Well, that was voluntary.
Well,
Rob.
Even he came out and said, well, some voluntary is less voluntary than other voluntary.
That's
okay,
right,
man. So don't come in today unless you have reason. And he did. I guess there were some bad snaps, but it wouldn't shock me a bit if he walked in and everything around here sucks. You guys aren't hustling. You don't know what it takes to win. We're Green Bay Packer blood. I hope that it wasn't contrived, but at the same time, I would be a Jet looking up at him like, bruh, don't waste that on me.
I mean, the truth about the Jets is somehow the expectation is they're going to be like the third best team in the AFC, but
I think
they didn't win a lot of games last year. This was not a great team.
But they've got the guys at the right positions to win just enough games to make this fun.
Yeah. Everyone thinks like most of the time a quarterback's not going to make you 6 games better. Like, how good are the Jets?
Well, no, they brought him in to do what he did yesterday. I mean, legit.
And tell everybody how much they suck?
Yes, because obviously Salah's been saying it for 2 years, and name the many coaches before that were saying that. The chances of Aaron Rodgers finishing the season, I would put it 50-50 at best.
I think, yeah, that's generous.
I mean, so he's got to prepare this team for when he does imminently blow the other Achilles or whatever else is coming. You're all worthless and weak. You got to practice like you're playing. Come on, Aaron.
It feels like we're setting up, and this is so Aaron Rodgers, where whatever happens this year, it won't be his fault.
Not my fault. Did you see that practice? I made a point of being really loud and obnoxious that bad
I'm
practice.
the guy, and these guys they're not at my level, and that's the problem. Is these guys need to get to a championship level, because I won a Super Bowl once 15 years ago, so they got to get on that level.
Let me ask you, if you're Salah and behind closed doors, I mean, no one's there, would you ask Aaron to be a royal, whatever you want to call it? Would you go to him and say, dude, I'm going to ask you to do something? Because people already perceive you that way, but if your attitude is such, you can elevate my team. If you will stay on them.
Here's why I wouldn't. You have to consider the fact that he missed all of last season, and he's still the guy that everyone's talking about. I think it would be obnoxious if he was still like, it'd be like, dude, you're going to ride my ass. You weren't here last year. You don't know what it was like. You know, you've been off gallivanting, whatever, you know, and I know he was injured, but it's still like, you don't want to have your ass ridden by a guy who wasn't there to take the bullets with you last year.
Very true statement. So, you know, you look at where that went down. I can't wait to see the make nice. Today could be a great practice. Oh, man, these guys worked hard. I'm happy to be here. Legs feeling great. We just, you know, got to get off on the right stand. Yeah, Aaron, go knock yourself out, because we don't do it like that. When we were Packers, we hustled, baby. This is Jet football now.
This is how we do it.
We do it there.
This is what
we're going to snack and lick a frog.
Exactly. And go climb a pyramid and drink the blood of a goat. I don't know what all he's been up to, but I don't think everybody on the team is going to be down for. I don't think the center, Joe Tippmann, is going to bathe in goat's blood.
I'll tell you, of all the things that are going to happen outside of the Cowboy circus, the Jets are right there. The Jets
really are.
Right next to the Cowboys in utter chaos.
And you know what? The Jets are right there in terms of coaches who this season determines whether or not they have a job next year.
Absolutely, man. And you know, the thing is, I like Salah. I've always been a fan of his.
But the truth is, he hasn't had the success.
No, and I think he's not going to get another one quick if it doesn't work out.
No, he's going to be back to coordinating because he like, unlike McCarthy, who also has a Super Bowl from 15 years ago or whatever it was, he can always look back at that and be like, hey, and there are teams who will say, well, we've seen this guy's done it before. They're going to look at Salah and be like, okay, this dude was there for 4 years and didn't get anything done.
I'm trying to think of a former Super Bowl winning coach. Has any one of them ever reverted back to their coordinator position? That, you know, had won a Super Bowl and ended up taking a gig someplace else as a coordinator? I'm sure it's happened, but I can't.
That's a good question. Yeah. Super Bowl winning coaches. Did Doug Peterson go back to? No, he didn't coordinate.
No. Because I think once you win the ship, you've placed out of coordinator.
Yeah, you might be right. I can't think of one off the top of my head. No, not Kubiak went back to like an analyst position, but he was not he wasn't a coordinator.
He wasn't the coordinator.
No, I can't think of one, to be honest. I think you'd have to go back to. I mean, before, not in the last 20 years. Let's just put it that way.
I can't imagine. And the guy like Salah, I think we have learned that he's the kind of guy you get after you've hit bottom. I don't think he's been very good at the bottom. You know, some coaches are good at the bottom when they got nothing and they can just manufacture crap. Other guys are taking the beginnings and getting it to the finish line, and other guys are experts at getting you over the finish line. And I think Salah is a middle of the road. Take a good team, make it a whole lot better, and hope things will happen. Not a gunslinger that'll just go win a title. but a guy that will grow a program. And I think the Jets have just been so absolutely chaotic that Saleh keeps thinking, when I took this job from San Francisco, I thought it would be a little bit more normal. I'd have some normal ownership and players. And the Jets have just been this chaos of injuries and idiocy. I mean, what's the quarterback from BYU? What's his name?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Yeah, Saleh, you might be happier in different confines next year.
Yeah, I'm looking through the list. It's Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Bruce Arians, Bill Belichick, Doug Peterson, Gary Kubiak, Pete Carroll, John Harbaugh, Tom Coughlin, Mike McCarthy, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, Tony Dungy, Bill Cowher.
So once you get it, you don't go back.
John Gruden, Brian Billick, Dick Vermeil. Like, yeah, I mean, once you're there, once you win one, you don't go back. No, I can't picture it. I can't picture that happening. So that tells you.
Yeah, sorry, coach.
Yeah, there ain't. If you ain't a head coach, you ain't a coach.
You grade it out, man. You got to have to win too.
Although I do think Brian Billick does something. I think he's like some sort of offensive well, maybe not an offensive coordinator at Arizona State now. He does some sort of.
Did he go to Arizona State?
I think so. Let me see.
Is that a Dungy take?
Brian Billick is the offensive analyst at Arizona State. Advisor to head coach and offensive analyst.
They're paying him at tea times.
That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing. I don't think he's got a high pressure gig. I think he's there to help out. There to help out a little.
Renee G, you talked about Kobe showing up with the Lakers and pulling that, and I remember a story from Jimmy Butler in Chicago treating his Bulls like they were the Three Stooges. You remember when he called him out in practice and it sounded like he was poking one guy in the eye and slapping the guy in the other? Like, he rolled into practice like, you guys are all idiots. That's kind of how I felt when I heard the Aaron Rodgers story yesterday.
Someone asked if Art Shell became a coordinator. Art Shell he never won a Super Bowl.
Didn't he? I think he won one. Didn't he?
No.
No?
Oh, when would we have won?
Like the 76? Who was the coach in? That might have been Flores that won it then.
In 76?
77?
Art Shell was
still playing.
He was like in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, he was still playing.
No, Art Shell never won a championship as a coach. So yeah, he doesn't make the cut either. I looked through the list. I don't think there is one. So I mean, I haven't gone back in time like to the guys before I was alive. So maybe there was one, but since I've been watching football, that's never happened.
And for me, I would think that would be a great hire. But then you also have to understand that coaches are competing too. And you don't want to hire your replacement and bring in a former Super Bowl winning coach as your assistant in anything, because things go south. Your replacement's in the building with the credos. I mean, with the bona fides to say, just give me the job. So maybe it's not about not finding the job. It's the head coaches not hiring their replacement to come in and take their job if things go south.
All right. We've talked a lot of football, and obviously we're out here at Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Major League Baseball trade deadline, which is today. This is the end of the road, Bubba. If these teams are going to do it, they're going to do it today. We'll talk about what the Rangers did yesterday, what the Astros did yesterday. I also have a story about airline travel that we may be interested in, because we'll be back on a plane later on this week. And
is it good news?
This is bad news. This was a bad story. But something that's happened to me similar like this. So we'll talk about that next. It is the Morning Huddle live from Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Right now in San Antonio, there's a lot of people thinking, should I go ahead and get that next taco? Should I go run off that donut I ate this morning? Do I need to make up for previous sins on my weight loss program? If that's you, you're on the wrong weight loss program. If you have to make up for things that you did off the plan because you couldn't stay on the plan, maybe it's the plan that's the problem. Or maybe you're not dealing with a medical professional like Dr. Jacob Torres. Because Dr. Torres, not only do they offer weight loss strategies strategies and help. They are a full-service general practitioner, a doctor's office. When you go see Dr. Torres, you're going to see a doctor. And that's why the success rate has been so high, because he understands not only the medical side of things, the science of losing weight, but he also understands the art and the necessary parts of from the neck up, what you need to stay on a prolonged process to lose weight, live better, and feel better, and be functionally healthy. And that is the key. And that's why he's been so successful. So listen to me. If you reach a time in your you don't think you can ever turn back. If you've got a doctor telling you it is time or you're going to be on medications and you don't want to go that glutide route and start poking yourself in the stomach once a week, you want to lose the weight the right way and keep it off for the rest of your life, call Dr. Torres today. Don't put it off. The number is 210-468-1891. It's a number that'll change your life. Let him explain to you why he's been so successful, and let him tell you his toughest case, me. Let him tell you why he got me on the right track. I feel better than I have in the last 15 years. I want that for you. Call Dr. Torres today. Go to iffhealth.com for all the details. But trust me, if it's time to change your life, it is time to call Dr. Torres. And after you do, I'm sure you'll thank me later.
San Antonio's sports star. Despite 3 12-win seasons, the pressure is on Dallas head coach Mike McCarthy for a championship as he heads into the final year of his deal. San Antonio Sports Stars coverage of Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, continues all this week.
Hit anything that moves. The playmakers, man.
South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Hi, April Lancieri here from the Ansira Auto Group. And Danielle Gunter, Executive Director of Texas Yes, here to tell you about the Drive Away for Education raffle sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. Proceeds directly benefit Texas schools and students.
And now you can help by purchasing raffle tickets. The winner gets to choose a new Chevy, Nissan, Jeep, Volkswagen, or Kia.
Plus, there's a chance to win additional prizes through our weekly drawings, a shopping spree, or a gas card.
Get your raffle tickets today at TexasYesProject.org.
Winner responsible for tax title license and federal withholding.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving scratch food and pouring quality cocktails every day after dark. Visit a Twin Peaks near you and experience the best late night in the league. Today, tomorrow, or any day of the week. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's Jason and Joe from The Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star live from Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Before we get into the trade deadline stuff, I told you I had another airline story that I wanted to share. And this is problematic, Rob. When I say the word biohazard, I think that would
bodily fluids.
Yeah, it's something that comes from the human body. And this happened due to one passenger's medical issue. Diverted an entire flight.
Oh, God.
Imagine being that person. A flight that left Houston.
Oh, it's close to us, too.
And was supposed to go to Boston Logan International and instead had to divert to Washington Dulles International 2 hours into the trip due to a biohazard. And there's a recording of one of the flight attendants, and it says, "It sounds like it's quite bad back there. The crew is vomiting and passengers all around are asking for masks." I think someone pooped their pants on a flight and made everybody throw up.
Dude, I've been on some bad flights. I have sat next to crying babies and snarling dogs. I have never had anybody crap themselves.
Oh, and I think the other option could be that someone vomited and
there is the chain
made
reaction
other
vomit.
people vomit.
Now, I've seen, but normally I've been around in for the most part, people know they grab the bag and they're quiet about it. I've seen a projectile vomit, but
I think I told you when I was flying back from Vegas to Houston once, and I sat next to this couple, and the guy was by the window, and his wife was next to him, and I was on the aisle, and I got up to use the restroom, and when I came back, my seat was just surrounded by the whole crew, and everybody was standing up. I was like, what happened here? And this guy puked everywhere. I'm talking, his wife was covered. He was covered. The people in front of them had it all over the backs of them.
Kill me now. Just just knock me out. Just hit me in the back of the head with a shovel and awaken me when you've hosed me off.
Like I was thinking, oh my God, like this is my seat. My seat was covered. Again, I was in the aisle seat. This guy was in the window. The entire wall where the window was covered. It was like streaming down the wall. This was a lot of vomit, like more than you would think one person was capable
like
of.
An emergency response kit? I'd like to think that they would bust out the hazmat suits and mops and some sort of chemical agent.
The problem is this was like it covered so much ground.
Man.
And this was a full flight. This was like a Monday morning on the way back from Vegas. So Monday morning flights are that's the most full.
You party all night,
and of course the wife is like, he only had one drink.
It was the clam chowder.
Yeah, he had something bad to eat. A bad burrito. Oh, the flight was totally full, so I had to sit in the jump seat in the back, like that the flight attendants sit in when there's turbulence. That's where I had to ride for the entire flight.
I would be the naked guy getting off the flight. Like, why is that dude naked? Well, the guy threw up all over.
Thanks be to God.
You were living right.
That I wasn't in my seat when that happened.
You had done something good for somebody.
I swear, I think I would have fought him. I would have just started swinging. Like, I can't imagine if someone vomited on me like that. But
what's your gag reflex? How is it? I mean, you got kids. I mean,
yeah, it was worse before I had, or it was less before I had kids, or worse before I had kids. I guess
my wife is a teacher, and she has seen things. She's a kindergarten teacher. She's seen some things and has no gag reflex at all. That woman can walk into anything and survive. Me, on the other hand, if I hear about somebody throwing up, I get a little.
I mean, imagine now the flight that we were just on, if someone crapped their pants, like the guy in the seat next to you. Well, I mean, what do you do?
I'd throw up on him. Yeah, that'll serve him. I'll just throw up on you and everybody else. We'll get diverted. Maybe it'll be a good place.
Imagine it's so bad that your flight is diverted. The flight attendants are vomiting because of what you've done. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Oopsie.
Now you get fined when you divert over a fight. Like if you're being a jerk. You go to jail and there's thousands. There should be something if you can't control it. Like you stayed out all night Maybe you judge the puke. If it's clear, like, dude, you were drinking all day, you're going to jail. Like, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation.
I don't know, man.
That's as bad as being a jerk.
That's true. Oh, it's worse, I would say.
Because the jerk just goes away. It's not on me.
Yeah. Or it doesn't get into my airways.
You're not capable of getting on a plane and using the facilities. We're going to have to find. You're on the no-fly list.
Yeah.
We're not mad at you. You just can't get back on a plane.
You're not welcome here anymore. That's all.
You seem you're probably better for bus travel. You're probably more gray-held.
No, they said you're actually built for Spirit Airlines.
Spirit's where you need to be.
You're
Go ride with my son.
You can't fly here anymore.
Those plastic seats that are made to be hosed now.
That's right. The Major League Baseball trade deadline is today. And a couple moves have been made, including the Astros. The Astros get busy. You say Kikuchi. I say Kakachi. You say Kikuchi is acquired by the Astros, gives them a left-handed starter. They have been obviously just killed by starting pitching injuries this season. Kikuchi has a 4.75 ERA, but has had some bad luck. The ball in play, his ball in play average is way higher than typical, and he does have 130 strikeouts to 30 walks in 115 and 2/3 innings. Those are good numbers.
We've talked about him a lot this year, man. That was a surprising acquisition, one that they needed to get. I think they get an A so far.
And what they send back is, I mean, I'm fine with. Jake Bloss was the guy who got called up and got hurt his first start. Joey Loperfido was like kind of the power-hitting outfield prospect. And then Will Wagner, who is the son of Billy Wagner, he's the 13th ranked prospect in the Astros organization. He's 26 years old, though. He's hitting .307. If you're 26 and you're not in the majors by now, okay.
Yeah, he was a filler. It was the first guy that was the chase for.
But Kikuchi's he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, which means this is a rental. But if the Astros are playing to win, this is the kind of move you make.
We talked about it. Get some help in the middle of your rotation. The guy throws pitches. He throws strikes. He's not going to throw you out of a game. It's exactly where the Astros, I think they still might be. You think first base might be something they're still trying to address?
I would think so. I think that's the other priority. Although Loperfido was a guy they've tried at first base, and I don't think he's the answer. So I think that's their last move.
So they have today.
They've got today.
Okay.
The Rangers make a trade. They send Michael Lorenzen. This is odd. I don't know what to make of the Rangers in this move. They send a starting pitcher out. Now, is he great shakes? Not really, but he's an arm that pitches every fifth day. He's 5-6 on the season, 3.81 ERA.
That sounds like we're not a sellout. We're not selling off or anything, but that sounds like a we give for the season. We're good. They've just got San Antonio kid back off the DL who'd been missing. Young's back in there, so I think they're comfortable where they're sitting. That seems like a lateral move to help somebody else.
That's what it feels like to me. And they made the trade with the Royals, by the way, and they sent Walter Pennington back, who's a minor leaguer pitcher. But the idea that they're trading a starting pitcher. And now, mind you, like I said, Jacob deGrom's coming back. They're getting guys back from injuries.
They didn't improve themselves. They stayed equal.
So this is and maybe there's still a move to be made for the Rangers. It's just a surprise. I would say because you can't feel great about the idea that deGrom and Scherzer are going to stay healthy for the rest of the season. So you're willing to deal your pitching depth. That's surprising to me.
You get the sense that they obviously won when they didn't expect to in their grand scheme. When Bochy arrives, he had a plan. This is my plan.
Yeah.
And it was they hit fast forward and jumped into the deep into the pool immediately. And it feels like they've gotten back to the plan. Like we were going to build a team a certain way. We jumped out, got you a championship a little quick.
Yeah.
But there's still a way we're going to maintain this good to greatness. And this felt like a step in that direction other than chasing another ring.
Jorge Soler and Luke Jackson go from the San Francisco Giants to the Atlanta Braves.
That's Soler to Atlanta.
Soler, who was the World Series MVP back in 2021.
This felt right for Atlanta.
Yeah, they get some bat back in and some relief pitching help as well. The Brewers get Frankie Montas from the Cincinnati Reds, one of the best starters that was left on the trade market. So the Brewers adding to their already solid team, and the Dodgers get Ahmed Rosario. For the second straight year at the deadline, they get Ahmed Rosario coming over from Tampa.
You free? You still got your apartment. Come on.
They got Tommy Edman in a deal, earlier. So they made two deals for basically like sort of shortstop utility-ish players.
Some help. That's some house cleaning. They're rearranging the deck chairs. They're either going to win it or not with what was already there. I mean,
and in that Edman deal, Eric Fetty from the White Sox goes to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fetty.
Tommy Pham is also included. He's headed to St. Louis. LA got Tommy Edman and Michael Kopech from the White Sox, and the White Sox got a bunch of prospects. So
aren't they a bunch of prospects anyway?
Exactly. I mean, they've now lost 15 straight.
Yes,
they are headed toward the worst season in the history of Major League Baseball.
Can you imagine you're getting ready to get on the bus and go get your ass kicked one more time, and Skip goes, "Hey man, you got a second? We're flying into St. Louis,
dude." There's something about
I'll race there. I'll run there. I'll just meet him there.
There's something about like. We always hear about tanking, and it's one thing if you like, okay, I want to have the first pick or whatever. If you're headed to being the worst, having the worst season in the history of Major League Baseball, boy, I'd really make a push to not be that. It's almost like once you're 0-15 in the NFL, it's like, boy, we got to really go for it here.
We don't want to be those guys.
You don't want to be 10-72 in the NBA, or like you don't want to be known as the worst team that's ever played.
Can you imagine what your outlook would be if you went and had 15 consecutive bad days at work? Like 15 days in a row, your boss was a jerk, the customers were as bad as they could be, and every day you went home with your ass kicked. No matter what you did, 15 straight days. I don't care how much money you're getting paid. That's a difficult life.
Dude, when I was coaching youth baseball, I had a top level team and an entry level club team. And the sad truth about those entry level club teams is you're just
you're
basically
dummies. Yeah.
They finance the program, and these are all kids who are probably not making their high school teams, like 13, 14-year-olds who if they were going to be good at baseball, they would already be good by now. They were probably like the fifth best kid on their little league team, and now they're like, oh, little Johnny's going to play club ball now. And little Johnny sucks at baseball.
But the check's clear on Friday.
Exactly. They pay the same amount as the kids on my top tier team pay.
Well, the top tier doesn't always pay.
that's true. But boy, my bad team was so bad to the point where I would make my son come with me because they play every other weekend. I had the good team one weekend, and the next weekend I had the bad team. And I would make my son come and play with this bad team. And he's like, please don't make me go. And I mean, these kids, it was like the Bad News Bears. There was one kid who I caught watching anime pornography in the dugout while he was sitting.
Well, I get that. And then a bunch of idiots running around.
But once you lose like 10, 12 games in a row, it does feel like it's a hopeless feeling.
What a pointless life.
It's like,
living.
Is this going to get any better? The answer is no. Are these kids going to get any better? Are the White Sox going to, not only are the White Sox not going to get better, they're going to get worse.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen whether you're there or not. They're going to be terrible when you show up. They're going to be terrible when you leave. Food would taste awful. I mean, everything about your life revolves around this. And granted, you're getting in a nice car, driving home to a nice house, and people go, they're paying millions. No, man, those guys got good because they like to win.
Dude. It sucks. And nobody who is playing competitively wants to just show up at work and get your ass ass kicked every day.
Every day, despite best efforts. And you might be pretty damn good at your job. It's not like you alone are the reason.
One person can't save it, bro.
You look around the corner and Jenkins is out again or something screwed up again. Like, dude, trade me. Free me.
And if I'm guys like Garrett Crochet or Luis Robert, every day I'm refreshing. Like, have I been traded? Am I gone?
God.
Where am I going? Please send me to Oakland. For the love of God, Oakland.
Because I'm not only we suck, I'm on the south side of Chicago. Free Fetty, he's gone.
Get me out of here. All right, there's your look at the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Still, like I said, I think the Astros and Rangers both have moves left to make. We'll see what they do. The Astros certainly, I think, need to add a bat. But Kikuchi's a big ad for them. They didn't have healthy arms coming back. Their guys that got hurt are done for the year. Mm-hmm. So it's good news to have that depth and feel like you're not having to throw a Jake Bloss. Like that's not the truth. He's not a major league pitcher at this point. And maybe he will be someday. But Kikuchi's a guy, and that's the other thing. The Astros, you got to remember, the Astros as an organization typically get the best out of guys. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Kikuchi's a free agent, he's going to get to work with this Astros pitching coaches that have really over the years turned careers around. Charlie Morton was kind of just a guy,
exactly,
and they turned him into a dude.
And Verlander, think how long this kid's still playing, man.
Yeah, exactly. They seem to find a way to get. And I mean, they got guys who are throwing no hitters that they're like, who's this guy? So I think there could be some real gold in that Yusei Kikuchi hill.
It'll pay early if we find out, and it's the best name in baseball. So not only did he get graced with a nice little pitch to every fifth day, but we get to say Kikuchi.
That's right.
On a regular basis.
And Rin says there really is a regular poop segment on this show.
Yes, there is.
Whenever possible, there is.
We speak of what we know.
When someone poops on a plane in their pants, the Morning Huddle will be here.
We do.
To talk about it. Last hour coming up from Oxnard on a Tuesday. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live from the Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Byers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Byers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at byersbarricades.com. That's byersbarricades.com.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard, the Steve Miller Band, 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment, excavators, loaders, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys cut cornerback Garyon Conley after he abruptly retired after just 3 practices into the season. Conley took to social media explaining he was in pain after his first surgery in his first year. Houston, Texas defensive lineman D'Amico Autry, whom they signed on free agency this offseason, will miss 6 games this season after being suspended for the league for PEDs. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, live from Oxnard, California. Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by our good friends at AA Best Bail Bonds, presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Good to be here.
It is good to be here on a Tuesday morning.
Starting to warm up.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's cold enough early in the morning that like it takes a while for your bones to warm up.
Because we've been in it for hours now, and it does go deep. But I'll tell you what, sun is out, and just now we're walking out. Practice today will be 1:30 San Antonio time, 11:30 here. They're prepping the field. There are certain zen moments about coming to training camp with the sun coming over the field, the dew on the grass. They're marking the field. The balls are out there. They're laying everything out. First day in pads. It feels like the beginning of something. I'm super psyched. And you know what? While I'm talking about the beginning of something, last night, I've been coming to Oxnard now for 10 years. I did something I've never done in Oxnard last night with you, AJ. We went to a micro brew of what you looked it up.
Casa Agria.
And as I've gotten to know you, you're a man of you chase your passions. I appreciate that about you. I like men or people who have a passion and they actively chase it. They want whatever that is, and I appreciate you with beer, with the beer stuff. I'm learning things. So we were sitting down, and it was the middle of the day, and he wanted to go try. We had about an hour. So AJ and I go to this really cool microbrewer, and we're sitting, and there's the bartender, and we're just drinking the beer, and he's telling me about the different stuff, and we didn't know it, but the owner of the place was sitting just around the corner at the bar with us and on a laptop, and we said something, and he answered as the owner. I don't know what exactly it was, and we had never seen this cat from anybody, but I call it the beer syndicate. There's this underground group of dudes, I'm not kidding, all around the country, and they all know each other because of beer. There were like 4 guys that you brought up that lived in different states, and they're like, oh yeah, he does this kind of beer, and you're known for the beer that you make. I love that substrata of, I had no idea there was this underground culture, like trading beer bottles. So we have a fabulous conversation, and I'm learning about these different beers, and we're getting ready to walk out, and the guy goes behind the counter and he grabs a bottle of, and it's a fancy beer. I don't remember exactly what it was. Capped bottle of beer. I have never seen that given to anybody. Like, here, this is something we're just kind of trying out about. Here, take this home.
The reason why I didn't have a label on it is it's not, they have to get label approval before they can sell it. And that beer is not going to be available until next week because.
So is it ready?
It's ready. Okay. Oh, yeah. I could drink it today and it would be just fine.
And I also got to say it was red.
It is.
I haven't seen a lot of red beer.
Well, as we know, there's a lot of berries out here in Oxnard, and it's called Bayas de la Casa, and it is it's got Marionberries, black raspberries, and boisenberries in it.
Marionberry?
Yeah,
him. He has his own raspberries.
The beer is fermented on him. And no, but that's but I told the guy, I was like, oh, this was the beer that he was, when I was telling him about when I found this brewery, which was, probably 7-8 years ago, they had this beer, and he was like, dude, we haven't made that for a long time, but we just made a batch and I've got one. So,
and by the way, AJ drinks beer that I can't drink. I'd like to think I could. I'd like to be tough enough to drink it is beer. That's a, they talk about there's some food that is only made for foodies. Like, it's a difficult eat.
Yeah.
You drink beer that's for the expert level. You know what I mean? That's novices do not pull up and drink the beer that you drink.
Well, we all have our life skills.
Like I said, I love the way that you pursue passions, and you'll drink some beers that I would have never thought you'd like.
Yeah, I'll drink it pretty much any beer.
Like all those raspberry things, I would have never pegged you as a guy like, give me that.
Well, I did drink a Miller Genuine Draft yesterday.
Well, I hadn't gotten there. So this same
that was
guy
maybe the worst.
I'm talking about. As we had gone, I took him to the Rudder Room, and we've talked about the Rudder Room for years. I've always called it the worst built bar in the world, lovingly so. So I take him to this bar, only cash, only bottles of beer. That's it. They have liquor behind, but no draft beer. And they have like 6 options. It's all American beers. You recognize them all. And my expert co-host and friend, who has more beer dollars than anybody I know, Miller Genuine Draft is the one that.
Here's why I did that. I was scared because you told me this was the worst bar in the world. They had a couple of IPAs that I considered. And then I was like, I bet these IPAs are old and probably just like IPAs are the kind of beer, if you don't drink them fresh, they go bad. And I was like, if these beers have been sitting here for 6 months, this is going to be bad. So I said, you know what? I thought back to when I was in the Army. And I would occasionally, my roommate would buy Miller Genuine Draft, so I'd drink that. And I was like, you know what, I'll go with it. I'll go with one of those. And he brought it out, and I was like, boy, this is a different label than I remember. And I drank it, and about 3 sips in, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? This is such bad beer. And it was, I felt borderline sick by the time I finished this beer. So I can drink a lot of beers. That's not one of them.
No, I thought it's like a Michelin chef going, you know what, I'll just take the cheeseburger. What? You're going to drink what? After all I've learned, you're drinking a Miller Genuine Draft? All right, you're a man of many, many questions there, AJ. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
There's a disease going around. You have ticks out at the Thompson Ranch?
I'm an expert tick remover. Yes, we do.
I got bad news then, man. there's a disease going around, which is they're calling it Ebola-like.
Yikes.
A fatality rate up to 40%, and there's no vaccine against it. And it's coming from ticks. A man died. This was in Madrid.
Oh, okay. That's always, if you were going to say
Madrid,
Somerset.
Madrid, Texas. No, no, Madrid, Spain. He was diagnosed with Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever.
Well, a hemorrhagic fever is an Ebola. You bleed out of every orifice, every hole, everything. Blood comes out.
The dude died with his eyes bleeding.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want that to be happened. I don't want that happening to me. I don't want my eyes to bleed out. Like, this is it says you can have bleeds, usually from the nose or broken capillaries, but also from the nose, the eyes. You'll spit up blood. Your ears can bleed. It initially says it's fever, muscle aches, abdominal pain, sore throat, and vomiting, mood swings and confusion, as well as sleepiness.
You seem confused as to why your eyes are bleeding.
I would be confused.
I'm a little concerned, and I'm not sleeping well either.
I would be confused. So let's pray that this disease doesn't make it to America.
Back
I don't want it.
COVID, Ebola was the nightmare, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, Ebola. I read a couple of books about it back in the day. That was frightening as all get up. But I understood that recently they might have actually come up with a vaccine.
So, well, not for that, not for this new one.
The Crimean hemorrhagic fever, which on your bingo card, if you had that next up on your disease of the year, Crimean hemorrhagic fever delivered by ticks in Madrid.
Here's what's been going on in Kyrgyzstan. I know a lot of people were wondering.
How's their Olympic count?
I don't know, but the president of Kyrgyzstan arrested his niece's fiance. He had what the president called an embarrassingly ostentatious marriage proposal while there were mudslides hitting the country.
Bad timing.
So while all these people are dying, apparently, he took one of 3 helicopters that the government owns.
The entire country, he took a third of them?
He took 1/3 of them and went up to this mountain, basically, and walked down to this fancy spot. And they had a heart made out of flowers and fireworks. And
sounds nice.
The Sadir Japarov is the president of Kyrgyzstan. He is a friend and he's an associate of Vladimir Putin.
He is a satellite, yes.
He was upset that Aftandi Sabrebekov, the fiance of his beauty queen niece, former Miss Kyrgyzstan.
I wonder what her talent was.
I don't know. But he said, I apologize to the people for my niece. She listens to people's opinions. I believe that she will draw the right conclusion from this. When Mr. Sabrekov failed to issue his own apology, he ordered his arrest on a drug-related charge.
Trumped it up, I guess.
Yeah, he said this guy doesn't love his niece, and he'd only proposed to her because he wanted to build political patronage to protect himself and to hide his illegal activities. People convicted of drug-related crimes in Kyrgyzstan, it's not a good place to be arrested. Like, we talk about Brittany Griner, you're locked up in the gulag for having some weed. Yeah, Kyrgyzstan's not one of those countries where you want to get caught with some weed.
The Kyrgyzstan penal system isn't up to
I don't think so.
International standards.
I don't think it's
Sounds
great.
Like Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we even heard about this. He just disappeared on a dragon.
And you had some. Oh, and Kyrgyzstan is one of the poorest countries in Asia.
They got 3 helicopters. What are they bitching about?
Well, that's the government
3
helicopters.
of them.
So he's been like kind of the president. Well, he's been running on like, we're not going to spend wastefully, and then they're doing these big elaborate your marriage proposals. He's like, what are you doing, bro? You had something about weed in Texas.
Oh yeah, for those that care. San Marcos and Austin over the last couple of years have adopted a city policy that they're not going to arrest or even cite, or maybe just cite you for 4 ounces of weed or less, personal use. The state of Texas, our fair attorney general, we all love this guy, Paxton, fought that. And both Austin and San Marcos last week won in court. They do have the right to govern their own cities as appropriate, which is effectively legalized marijuana in San Marcos and Austin. And the court win for those that are chasing that kind of legalization is a huge step forward. If your town across the state of Texas doesn't want to arrest and they pass an ordinance as such, the state's not going to pick on you anymore.
Yeah, Houston's decriminalized it. I think a lot of the bigger cities now don't bother with it.
It's too expensive to test everything because because of the legal weed that is basically hemp that looks and smells and acts or looks like it. If you have to take every sample you get and send off at $250 a test for a $100 ticket, financially it's stupid. Yeah. So it's just not a cost-effective way.
Now, if you're out in Pecos, Texas, I can guarantee it. But I think in these, but the fact that it's okay in San Marcos is maybe a positive step. And
one other step on the weed front, as it were. For those of you that read Texas Monthly sent a couple of their writers out last month and visited 2 head shops, 2 weed shop, legal weed shop, whatever dispensaries around the state of Texas. 2 in Dallas, 2 in Houston, 2 in San Antonio, and I think 2 in Austin. The numbers could be off. They came out with was higher than the state max allowed of the active properties that make weed. Every sample was higher. And you know where the highest sample was? The weed shop in Alamo Heights, San Antonio. The percentages of THC and the illegal stuff was so far beyond. If you had gotten pulled over, you get pulled over and buy stuff from any of these stores and they get sent off to be tested, you would be arrested.
That's wild.
We have reached a time where weed has been functionally legalized just for the cost. Now it's time for our state elected officials, as they gather together imminently, forget the weed. That's legalized itself. Time to get the gambling going. We're sinning already. Let's up this thing. Let's get the gambling going. It's time, and there's too much money in it to wait.
All right. If you missed the Will McClay interview in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to play it once again for you.
We're proud of this, by the way.
Yeah, we got to talk to the VP of player personnel, Will McClay, yesterday, and we've got that for you today. And then, of course, at 9:30, we'll do the daily lines. We'll be back from Oxnard, California. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is day 2 for us here at Cowboys Camp in Oxnard, California. We get the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, all 6'7" Tyler Guyton is going to join us live here on the Blitz. Plus, our first look at the Cowboys in pads as our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp coverage continues starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will Dallas' Dak Prescott get his new contract for his birthday during training camp in Oxnard? We're there, and if he does, you'll hear about it first. San Antonio Sports Star's coverage of Dallas Cowboys Training Camp, sponsored by AA Best Bell Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Live all week from Oxnard, California. Continues all week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. Summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza, August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. O'Reilly Auto Parts has batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! Join us now on the Morning Huddle, the Director of Player Personnel for the Dallas Cowboys, Will McClay. Will, how are you, man?
Good, man. Good.
What's it
out there in California?
this time of year? Is this an exciting time for you? Get to see what your new toys look like out there on the big green fields?
Yeah, it's an exciting time because we're building this team, and to get to see the young guys come in, the pieces that we put together, to see how it comes together. It is an exciting time, but it's also a nervous time because things happen like yesterday. You lose somebody that you're counting on, and we have to figure out how to move forward with that one.
Well, you guys, I think by most accounts, everybody seems to think you guys did a great job drafting in the trenches this year. You guys really focused on that. There was concerns about skill position, and you guys said, no, we're going to go with these big boys. So when you lose a guy like that, do you at least feel good knowing, hey, we made an investment there, so we've got something to work out? But then at the same time, does it give you pause when CD's not in camp and these things are popping up with the skill guys, and you're going, damn, it would have been nice if we invested that way?
Well, sure. It's like, after you buy something and something's at a lesser rate, God, I wish I'd have bought that. But we go into it looking for the best players, and we don't go for it looking for a specific position. So if we exercise that discipline, we get the best players at the right value. You have depth and you have all that ability. Now you get to see what those guys are about and can bring to you because you're never one player away. And so that's what we do. And then we get a chance to see what they can bring to us. But hopefully if we go and do the right job of finding the right people that fit what we do, you got a chance to be better.
So what, 23 years with the Cowboys?
Something like that.
14, you've been head of the draft and doing all that. You talked about being nervous and kind of seeing your kids come out and play. What's more exciting for you, the new rookie or the third year guy that you see make that jump after a couple of years of growth?
The third year guy, the guys that have been with you and that you've made that investment in, and that they grow into hopefully what you expect. Like when we talk in the draft, we talk about getting a return on investments. Every pick, everything you do, we want to get a return on investment, so we at least don't go broke. We want riches. And so if we pick the right people that develop the right way, now when that second year, that jump from first year to second year, and that jump from second year to third year, you begin to know who they are as people. Now they're yours. And so that's also the investment.
He is Will McClay, director of player personnel drafting, and we're talking about the draft right now. I was reading a synopsis of last year's draft, and it said you were looking for physicality in the 23 draft. Is physicality a physical thing or a mental thing?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, you have to make that conscious decision. Football is one of those sports that not everybody does.
Right.
So you have to make that conscious decision to put your body on somebody else. Then you have to love doing that, and then love getting better at doing that at a high level. So the approach,
right.
We had a deal where there was a group, we were talking about it, and the physical side, it's easy to see. It's the ability and desire to apply that physicality is
the true witchcraft of what you do.
And you see that jump because you have more confidence in your ability. If I'm a rookie, I come in and I was at Rice University and I was the stud. Now I come in and now I'm Dak Prescott. So now it's the growth that has to happen.
You didn't have to drop Rice in there.
I did. I really don't get money, so I'm at least going to drop it.
Okay. He's an owl. He had to let us know.
Now with Marshawn, when you guys made the switch on the defense, did you envision him fitting where he's going to now be asked to fit since the injury?
Yes, because he is an explosive, physical, defensive end that can play the physical nature, the man on man, take the double teams, but he can also use his physical abilities to also win the speed things and do all that. And then his approach to the game and the physicality brought. So we thought he could play a number of different positions as opposed to one specific one with his skill set. So that gives us flexibility.
And does having a guy like Micah, who you could probably play in a lot of different positions, give you flexibility? When you've got to fill another hole, you could just move Micah to the hole and then put someone who fits something better in that spot. Is that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you have those players that are special and that are different, and you know who they are. And you have those other pieces that have to fit around it. So the more versatile pieces you have, the more flexible you can be schematically and if an injury happens.
With Micah, who is obviously in the news about a contract, wants to be extended, does he care where he plays? Because obviously he wants to put up numbers. Guys in contract years love to put up numbers. Is that something that you see playing into his mind at all?
I'm pretty sure it's 2024, and the way society is, guys are always looking for what gives them the opportunity to maximize what they have. So, number one thing that's important to Micah is winning and winning here and winning now. And I'm sure all that other stuff comes out. But
do you have to define him as a linebacker or an end, depending on the play?
That all comes down to the
depending
contract.
on the contract, exactly
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
We're talking a lot about the defense. On the offensive side of the ball, you have had an eye for linemen. Whatever your scouting process is, you find them. What exactly is it about the way you search for linemen that kind of they end up here?
Well, it's kind of, it's the Cowboys have had the greatest offensive line or one of the better offensive lines in football forever. So you follow that tradition and it kind of makes it easier. And then the people that you have in the room already, now you bring guys in, well, they're going to follow that example and they're going to become that because that group demands it. And we've been fortunate to have those guys. When you have a Zach Martin, you have the guys that we have, the young guys come in, they can only get better or get out. And that's the way that
I think you're declining some of the skill that you have. There is an eye. There's something that you're seeing that's obviously separate from other guys.
It's our group and the way that we do it, and then understanding what we're putting them into. And again, I've got a perfect example that we talk about all the time. Our college scouts go out and they go into these different petri dishes. Every situation is different. If you look at your building, that's the original petri dish. And so if we can kind of look for those guys that fit that, we have an opportunity to be successful.
In an ideal world, you draft a tackle in the first round. You've got a guy like Tyron too. If you know he's leaving, you've got a year for him to work and mentor kind of. In this situation, it's like he's gone, this new guy's in. You worry about losing an anchor like that and having a new guy come in and not having that guy to look at and see this is how we do things here.
Well, I mean, again, we would have loved to have had the people back that were here, but the business of it doesn't allow it. But you still have some of those pieces, and Chuma is a good player. We feel good about that. And so we felt comfortable about that position prior to the draft. And then we add the guys that we did in the drafts. So they're still following along that chain. Still got Zach Martin in the room, and he's the leader of that. And the young guys are stepping up. And so you got Terrence Steele, who's been here, came up in that group. So it all continues as long as they fall in line, and then the great coaching that they get from Coach Solar and Coach Chin Young and what they demand. It's always a good group to be around. I love the offensive line because that's where it's won. It's won, obviously.
Wide receiver, obviously CD with the contract stuff is the name that everybody's kicking around. But the thought is, who are the other guys? Who's going to fill in around him? And if he misses any kind of time, who are you guys hoping is ready to take that step up and be the guy now?
We're continuing to find that now because it's now proved yourself with that opportunity. I think, we have Brandon Cook, who's a consummate pro, and as long as the young guys come in and follow that lead and they have the ability, because you see the growth of Tolbert last year when, as guys continue to play that first year jump, that second year jump, you get to see that. And, with these exposures that we have now, certain people are jumping out, and now we have to see if that continues. With that exposure and experience, you get an opportunity to find out about them. So we have to take advantage of those reps that guys get when CD's not here to find out about them.
What's a day like for you? Like, I know player day off today, a little bit different than your normal day, but how much time are you on the phone looking at what's going around? How much time are you spending out on the field? What's the days? A lot of places at once.
The days are long. We started and at the beginning of camp, like we'll have the whole staff in and we talk about how we're getting ready to hit the road. The college scouts are going out on Tuesday. We'll have meetings in the morning. We'll go into team meetings. Then there'll be practice. We'll go through the practice. We'll watch the practice tape. Where are the injuries? We're looking at continuing to look at who's available, the waiver wire every day. And then we start, like I'll have conversations with different GMs and personnel people throughout the league and what do you need? So we kind of start getting a feel for where people are.
We're watching that Hard Knocks thing going on with the GM behind the scenes. Do you like the idea of the curtain being pulled back?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Because everybody's got their own little trade secrets, or there's a lot of things that go on. You're dealing with people and emotions and all that stuff. Sometimes you don't want, I prefer to keep some things in house.
How much of business is done the way that it's portrayed on that show, where guys are just talking like, hey, will you give me a couple firsts for this guy? Does it ever just random conversations pop up like that?
Yeah, you have those conversations. Sometimes you drop a little crumb to see who bites, and it's interesting at the combine. People just think it's about interviewing and finding out about the players. A lot of face-to-face conversations go on that start. You just throw things out. You might say, okay, you got to get an idea from the feelings from the conversations, and that helps you formulate how you're going to address it and talk about certain things like trades. But we do it just kind of random.
Well, it's been certainly interesting. It's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for stopping by for us today.
Appreciate it.
And that was the VP of player personnel, Will McClay, who joined us here on the Morning Huddle. You can see the video version of that on Instagram if you follow SA Sports Star. We've got that up. You also see some more exclusive training camp content up there on the gram.
He'll be busy today. He's got a position or two to fill.
Yeah. Listen, he's got tough decisions to make too. And I thought one of the more interesting, because I put myself in his shoes. I'm like, man, you did all this great work drafting in the trenches, and it's good because you lost those guys, and you lost another one the other day on the defensive side. But when CeeDee Lamb doesn't show up, it's like, man, we really should have had a backup plan for like if something happens to CD, God forbid.
He tried to save it with Jalen Tolbert. You saw Jalen Tolbert every way. He's coming along and getting better. Yeah, we kind of miss CD.
Well, he ain't getting worse, I guess.
Well, give it time. We'll find out in about 3 hours.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing those guys on the field today and seeing what they've got, because that's the big question is who can fill in at wide receiver just in case CD's not there.
Yeah, trenches, receivers, and today I hope they do some special teams work. I want to see what this kickoff return looks like.
Although the special teams work, that's where Sam Williams blew his knee out.
Yeah, well, they need to find somebody to replace him. We need to get there. Honestly, I can't wait to see the kickoff.
You see, this is essentially the end of an era. The onside kick is gone because you're no longer allowed to tee the ball up on its side, which, I mean, really, there's no effective way to do an onside kick, a surprise onside kick anymore.
And the strategery that goes on behind the scenes right now, because everybody's got their own idea how they think it'll work. I want to see how it actually comes into practice.
All right, let's hit our last break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at the daily lines as well as an NIL story that is quite surprising, and who's throwing around the big bucks. Maybe a shock to you. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Did you wake up this morning in pain? Is there something keeping you from doing the things that you need to get done? If you did, listen close, because there's an answer out there. It's a Rosti. For so many of us that live in daily pain, maybe it's a sprain or a strain. Maybe it's a frozen shoulder or back, something that's been bothering for years. For me, it's been lower back issues, sciatica and the like. And with so many of us suffer in silence, just thinking, well, that's my lot in life. I'll take a couple of Tylenol and hopefully it'll fade away over the next couple of days. Don't live like that. Rosti providers are all around San Antonio with one goal in mind, and that's to get you out of pain as fast as possible, which is a worthy goal, but it's how they do it that is so important. See, it's not about medication to hide or dull the pain. Certainly not about surgery and physical therapy to prolong the pain. We're talking about your body fixing itself in unique ways that I don't think you can quite imagine until you actually go through it. Rosti will give you a full evaluation when you go in for your first visit. They're going to figure out exactly what the problem is and fix the problem. And once the problem is fixed, it's amazing how the pain goes away. And oftentimes the problem is not manifested in the pain where the problem is someplace else. That's how it was with my lower back. If it's time to get out of pain, call a Rosti today. They don't need a referral, and they accept most insurances. What are you waiting on? Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website, it's Rosti.com. Use it. It's a great resource. Lots of tips and tricks to get yourself back in the game, but more importantly, there's a map of all the local providers. I'll bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Make that call. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call a Rosti today. Let them get you fixed. And when they do, I want you to thank me later.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers, plus earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards, just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards and become a member for free today. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star, live from training camp, Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and the Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds, of which we've got some in here. Couple notes from around the league in training camp. We've had a couple guys are getting signed, waived, things like that. Rashad Penny, the former Seahawks running back, has retired at 28 years old. I think mostly due to injuries, because he was placed on the IR, or he was placed on the reserve retired list. But I think he's just been unable to stay healthy. I think he's realizing that 45 games in his NFL career, and only 11 starts. So Rashad Penny gone with dust in the wind for him, at least. And Kareem Jackson has a new NFL team. It is the Buffalo Bills. They signed Kareem Jackson to their 90-man roster, 1-year deal. He started last season with the Broncos, started 8 games for them, missed 6 more because he got suspended twice for violating league's player safety rules. Some people think that he is a dirty player. I would agree with some people. But he ended up finishing the season last year with the Texans. This year, the former first-round draft pick will play for the Buffalo Bills. So there's a little...
I missed it. What did I miss?
Kareem Jackson signing with the Bills.
Oh, Kareem Jackson signed
after getting suspended twice for dirty hits last year. He found a new home. Rob, I wanted to tell you about this NIL story because it's kind of about your people.
I spent some time in Lubbock.
Yeah, I assume you got probably a lot of money from Lubbock.
Man, I got like 50 cents a day.
Well,
enough to buy a soda.
There's a gal named Nigerie Candy.
Where's she coming
Kennedy.
from?
She's coming from Stanford.
Oh, okay.
Her ERA, this is a softball gal. Her ERA is a minuscule 0.73.
Dude. All right.
She is getting from the Matador Club, which is Texas Tech's NIL collective. $1.2 million to transfer from Stanford to Texas Tech. This is unprecedented, first of all, because the largest amount of money ever given to a softball player was in 2016, and it was a $1 million 6-year National Pro Fast Pitch contract. That was in 2016. So that was for a pro softball lady. This gal is getting $1.2 million to come play college softball at Lubbock, Texas. Now, there's a lot of people who don't like this. For me, I'm like, hey, get your money. You're a softball player. You're usually, once you are done playing college softball,
you're done. Right?
Your abilities don't make you a ton of money beyond that.
Yeah, you're coaching or playing in beer leagues is what you're doing.
But I say get it. But former Oregon and current Athletes Unlimited catcher Gwen Svekis tweeted, terrible. Take me back to a time before NIL when no one would sacrifice a Stanford education for a buck. That sounds like a gal who might be bitter that she didn't get $1.2 million.
My retort is always, why is she at Stanford? To go make $1 million a year. That's why she's at Stanford. She went to Stanford to get a good education. Yeah, you can take that to the grave. You can read a lot of books. But she went to Stanford to go get paid. And she got paid. Why? I will never understand. In my day, we did it for dirt and a pat on the back, and that's how it should. Why? You didn't want it?
Which, by the way, if her priority is education, which maybe it is.
What's wrong with Tech?
Can she not, after she finishes her softball playing career, go back to Stanford and not play softball?
You're no longer. Those were the salad days, and once they're gone, they're gone. You can't go back.
That's crazy.
It's embarrassing, humiliating, and we should be celebrating this woman. Everybody's tide went up. Everybody's boat's a little bit higher today in the softball world because this chick left Stanford to go live in Lubbock for $1.3 million. Congratulations, first of all, Tech. That's like the Spurs sending LaMarcus Aldridge way back when. I can't remember any kind of transfer on any other program other than the basketball over the last several years that transferring. Ain't nobody transferring to Lubbock.
And remember, this is softball. Like, I know that the WNBA is getting a boost, a Caitlin boost. These softball girls, like, dude, there's no end of the rainbow where they're millionaires. Like, this is it.
And they're not. Think about it. She's not selling ad time on any TV station because they're not.
I never heard her name in my life.
Once I saw a picture, I had to go look her up. I did see her play in the College World Series, and she does throw some heat. It's surprising she didn't go to a powerhouse. Maybe the Tech's on their way. I mean, she didn't go to OU, which is like the UCLA of the women's softball, and of course all the SEC schools. But congratulations. I think it's a bigger deal for Tech than it is for her. I think that shows around the country that Tech's trying to run with the big dogs.
That's what I would assume. Although I say that it's not like the softball World Series had the highest ratings in its history. So people are interested. Over 2 million viewers but for the final between Texas and Oklahoma, which is a $1.58 million or 1.58 million viewer increase from the year before. So, I mean,
in a roundabout way, AJ, I think you're right that the Caitlin effect is genuine across all female sports. That there is a legitimate, I'll give it a chance kind of attitude amongst a lot of sports viewers who never gave women's athletics a chance.
And, there's talk now about having to upgrade the venue at the park in Oklahoma City because they're selling it out. So I don't know, man.
Hey, man, when the tide comes in, all our boats go up.
Get your money, girl.
Bring it.
Get your money.
But 1.3 to play softball. Let's just mark your calendars, man.
All right, let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Astros blew it yesterday. Josh Hader takes the L. They touched up Skeens a little, or at least had some did some damage, but the bullpen did not do the Astros any favors. They fell. Hunter Brown on the hill today. for the Stros. Suddenly, without Paul Skeens, the Pirates are underdogs.
What?
Hunter Brown, a minus 190 favorite. Bailey Falter going for the Pirates. He is plus 160.
Okay. So I like this.
You like the Stros today?
I like the Astros today.
I would think coming off a loss that, and Hunter Brown.
Standing.
He's been pitching well.
And by the way, if you're just dialing us in, I have made a profit. We're now at 11 consecutive days.
I like what you're doing, man.
I'm telling you, man, just listen close.
The Texas Rangers have Max Scherzer back in action, minus 118 on the road against the Cardinals with Lance Lynn. The Kansas City Royals. Will the streak continue for the Chicago White Sox? The Royals are at Chicago. Michael Waka, minus 198 against the White Sox with Jonathan Cannon on the hill for the White Sox, who is a made-up person. That'll be interesting to see. And elsewhere in the AL West, the other team of note outside of the Astros and Rangers, the Seattle Mariners still hanging around. Luis Castillo going for the M's today. They are on the road against Boston Red Sox, who have brought back James Paxton, the former Red Sox turned Dodger, and then the Dodgers dumped him on his ass, and the Red Sox said, we'll pick up your trash and put it back in our rotation.
Easy.
Mariners minus 115 in that one. In the battle of tanking teams that are giving away everything, the Marlins and the Rays, the Rays minus 170 favorites with Jeffrey Springs on the mound against Edward Cabrera and the Marlins. The big matchup of the day, though, the best pitching matchup by far, Garrett Cole on the hill for the Yankees, Aaron Nola going for the Philadelphia Phillies.
So does Garrett qualify as a good pitcher on a bad team?
I think it might be. I think that fits the model. You've got Aaron Nola and the Phillies favored minus 120, even money on the Yankees. I don't want to bet the Yankees, man. I don't want to bet them right now. They just can't seem to get their bleep together.
To the madness.
I know.
Phillies, though. Yikes.
The Dodgers are minus 135 favorites on the road. Tyler Glasnow coming off a bad start last time out. He might be a good pitcher on a bad team. Minus 135 at San Diego. Matt Waldron going for the Padres. And here it is, boys. The Arizona Diamondbacks, Ryan Nelson on the hill at home, hosting the Washington Nationals on Patrick Corbin Day. Happy Patrick Corbin Day, everyone. The Nationals are plus 150 if you think Patrick Corbin is going to break things up. The Diamondbacks minus 180. I say it every game. It's one day Patrick Corbin's going to win a baseball game. I hope it's not today. That's what I'll keep going. I'm gonna ride this train till it bucks me off, baby. I'm riding it.
I'm not going to curse you. I'm staying away from it.
Okay.
I'm not going to touch it. That's your ride.
I mean, what a great ride it has been. Just every Patrick Corbin, every fifth day, it's like cha-ching, hitting that cash register every fifth day. And Oakland plus 170 at San Francisco, Battle of the Bay. Robbie Ray and the Giants minus 205. Pretty big favorite. In fact, I believe, the biggest favorite on the board today, the San Francisco Giants, even more of a favorite than a team playing against the White Sox. You would think the team, if you're playing the White Sox, you ought to be about the biggest favorite you can be.
But you're working the law of odds. At some point, they're going to stumble backwards into a win.
One more big favorite, the Baltimore Orioles, minus 200 against Toronto with Chris Bassett. Toronto, who's in sell mode. This is the time when Toronto had high hopes, man. I think they're packing it in for the season, and the Orioles keep buying. They had Zach Eflin from the Rays. They had him go yesterday, and now they got their best guy on the hill in Corbin Burns. So I expect a good showing from the Orioles today.
Team USA getting busy today.
That's right.
They're taking South Sudan with the appropriate fear.
Well, they almost got them
tomorrow.
Yeah, it is tomorrow. They almost got them today, though. We've got France and Japan. What do you think the spread is for France Japan?
23.
16.5.
Well, they can shoot.
Well, the ladies sure can.
That's what I'm saying. Yesterday they kept it close enough, or they got the over anyway.
Well, the men, 16.5-point dogs to France. Germany, a 13.5-point favorite against Brazil. And then the current odds for tomorrow, and of course this could change if you wait around, but the game tomorrow, Serbia is against Puerto Rico. Serbia -17, and the U.S. of America -29.5 against South Sudan. South Sudan won a game already.
That is a huge number, man.
I think I have to play South Sudan.
I can't imagine they win by 30. I mean, seriously, you only got 40 minutes to do it.
I think I'm going to have to play South Sudan. If it gets to 30, I got to play it. I got to play it. You can't just.
We saw it's real. We saw what the women did to the Japanese yesterday for their 56th consecutive Olympic win. And it should be, you'd think, just about that easy, but 30 points, man.
That is a lot of points.
Who's the one guy we know on that team? Winyan Gabriel.
That's right.
I'm down with you, Winyan.
Used to be at Kentucky. No, where was he at?
He was at Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah, that's right. The medal tracker, for those who have been paying attention, good news. The U.S. is back on top. We've now got 20 medals. Only 3 golds, though.
It's been a weird. Now we haven't gotten into the real money events. We haven't gotten into track and field, and some of the ones that we haven't seen the golf yet. And, I'm trying to think of what else that I'm looking forward to. Gymnastics has been kind of a letdown. Biles has been hurt. We had to wait for Clark Kent to do some kind of pommel horse exhibition late in the game last night. I've seen the highlights, though I didn't watch that. You come into the Olympics and it's, always been kind of a point to kind of gather around and put out your flag and all share in the Americanness. We need some wins. We're going to need some wins on what has been, by the way, the numbers we're watching. The whole world is watching. It's way up over Tokyo and Beijing before. The opening ceremonies, despite the hilarity and weirdness, had good numbers, and they keep improving by the day. Peacock is streaming like crazy. It is booming there. The app like they had hoped it would be.
Speaking of the opening ceremonies, Rob Schneider. Everyone was wondering, what did Rob Schneider think of the opening ceremonies?
Well, I care.
Well, Rob Schneider came out and said it. Well, also Harrison Butker talked about this, and Donald Trump Jr. talked about this. They're all boycotting the Paris Olympics because of the opening ceremony, that they said, listen, I will not watch an Olympics that disrespects Christianity and openly celebrates Satan.
They celebrated the Feast of Dionysus. It had nothing to do with the Last Supper. It was iconography that was stolen, that the Christians stole from the pagans. I don't know what you're mad at.
Well, Rob Schneider said he will not celebrate Satan.
Oh, well, there you go, Rob. Go be you, man.
He said, this is just not going to happen to me. Paris Olympic, they had to apologize for anyone they may have offended with their opening ceremony.
The menage a trois, I was down.
We'll be back tomorrow. Blitz coming up at 2. Tyler Guyton joining them. We'll see you tomorrow on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live from the Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, this is 94.1 San Antonio.